Hey guys, 2 o'clock. Welcome to the close. 2 hours to go in what has been a very positive trading session. Nice bounce back day for the overall market. Right back at day highs essentially here for most of U.S. equities here. I'll show you the board as we stand right now. 2.03 for the S&P 500 leading the way. 1.94, almost 2% for the Dow as well. Good day for the NASDAQ, 1.6%. Nice gains right across the board, even here in Toronto, 1.5% for the TSX. Brazil back open after a couple of days holidays for Brazil to start the week. 2% bump. Crude oil, yeah, still holding on to gains here. We're up as much as almost 9%, came all the way back to about 6%, or 4%, I should say, and now we're back to 6% in positive territory. Cryptocurrencies have been relatively quiet so far today, which is probably constructive given the volatility we've had. Here's a look at the board as we stand right now. Not much to talk about from the negative standpoint here. Really nice day right across the board. It is the tech group you can see up here leading so far. Software names in positive territory. That EPAM, you remember 2 days ago, came off about 80%, bounced yesterday and today again, 17% back to the upside. HPE off a good report, back in positive territory. Some of the hardware equipment makers, really nice day back higher. Look at Micron. 8.5%. Semiconductors, really impressive. Enphase to the downside, SEDG to the downside. That's about it. It's been all about the banks, though. Every single name in this group pretty much in positive territory, led by the individual banks, CMA, SBNY, SIVB, and RF, all 6 to 7.5% higher. What a day for industrial stocks as well. The travel names, very, very impressive after an uneventful week, mostly negative week, in fact. For some of the travel names, there's UAL, FedEx even bouncing back 3.2%, Love up 2.3% as well, UPS as well, 3.5%. Consumer discretionary stocks, nice gains right across the board, including the travel names down here, Wynn, LVS, Booking, MGM, Caesars, and then some. I wanted to mention the energy group because the actual gains in the energy group not really corresponding with, I mean, there's a few here, CTRA, OKE, and BKR, but the rest not really corresponding with the move that we've seen in crude oil. Quick look at the NASDAQ here. That was yesterday. Wait for it. Come on. It'll switch. There we go. This is today. Almost the exact opposite of what we saw yesterday. Individual names to the downside, a few of them, but otherwise, really nice day. Right across the board. Good bounce back, as we said, for the overall market. Welcome, guys. A couple hours left in what has been a very eventful trading day. Hope you're doing well. We're going to kick things off with a look back at how the morning went. If you didn't have a good open this morning, this is the time we like to go back and figure out why, where we can do better tomorrow, and find out if there's going to be opportunities going into the close. Let's kick things off here. Neil's going to talk us through one of his trades today.
Thank you very much, Brennan. And today we're going to analyze the trade in SoFi. Now, obviously, Rivian short was fantastic. Not going to have too many complaints about that. Nordstrom's one squeeze play was great in both directions. But SoFi was a better learning experience, I think, in this particular case. Now, a couple of things to understand here. They did report their earnings. It was a beat on EPS. But the bigger factor, I think, for a lot of people was the fact they had that short interest and had been beaten down. So I want to go to the higher time frame. We're going to start with a daily chart here in SoFi just to show a couple of things. First, that you'd already made a big bounce going into the earnings print. This is a bit important because you were up 25 to 30% in the last few sessions here on this market rebounds. And then also look at the last channel down. Before this last breakdown, we had this 1350 to 1360 area, which had been all kinds of resistance. So you get the earnings beat, you had the short squeeze in potential, and a lot of people looking at the gap up and thinking you're making a run at that level. I was in that camp, but I do not like breakouts. So a 13 break, something up here, into overhead resistance. So that's out of there. So if I think I'm going to be playing some kind of a long trade here, buyers coming in with that short interest in the beat, it has to be a buy the dip. Question becomes, how do you structure your buy the dip? The first look for me was going to be off the pre-market lows, and you're going to see that wasn't going to work. Not going to bother pulling back, but the pre-market lows were right around that 1240 area, 1245. So we took the long in front of it and immediately get stopped out. At this particular point, there's no need to rush back into the trade. This is one thing I've had some trouble with before, is you get an idea that you really want to buy that dip and you think there's going to be a bounce and you get a little bit too stubborn about it. Made sure we did not do that here today and sort of went back and just looked at where was the support previously, and you are going to see a lot of that channel was in that 11.5 range, that higher low from before. So you're waiting for it to get into that range, allow it to trade down. It can't get to 50s really the first time through. It's able to take like 1160 a couple of times, and once we see it really hold that lower support, you get that one big wick bottom, breaking the low, reestablished. That's when we get the long trade going in. So the key thing here was the patience. Finally get the indication that this could be an opportunity to buy. It gives you a couple of legs out on the way up to VWAP, and then it starts to curl back. But okay, we still have our level. We jump back into the trade right in front of that 60 again, you get a little bit of a scalp trade, and then it takes out the low. At this particular point, you got to say to yourself, okay, one long doesn't work. We have a couple more that have some success, but really, this is now trending to the downside. We break that low, and I say if VWAP is going to come in, I should just be trying to play the trend. So I flip to the short side of the trade. You have to be willing to accept that maybe this isn't working out for that long. It was a good long. You could make some money scalping it. There were good bounces, but the overall trend had remained to the downside when it failed at 12 even. There was a weird flush, so we just happened to get a 20-cent winner there on that crazy candle. And we're going to go into the closing, going into the close with a short position. Now that if it takes VWAP in that 12-15 area, then we're just going to be out of the trade. So key thing here is when you're trying to catch that falling sword, if you jump in early, have an out. Because of the better levels of actual support or lower, you don't need to hold all the way down. You can get out, you can reestablish that trade at a much better entry price without having to hold the bag, and then you save yourself some profits. That way, if it doesn't stop going down, you lose a little bit less because you got a better price, and then you keep yourself disciplined. It's always about having some shots left to be able to make your trades later on. You don't want to get stopped out in the morning. So, and eventually, sometimes you just do have to flip directions if that's what it's going to do, Brennan.
Gotta love it. Gotta go where the action is as well. And that requires a plan, guys. Every morning we come up with that exact thing, a plan. Join us every morning at 8:30. We'll talk you through the first hour of the day and discuss a little bit about what to expect coming up at the open at 9:30. That's the link to the watch list, guys. That gives you everything you need to know going into the open. I saw a few people mentioning this SKYH. Which appears to be an airport operator that's up big time here this afternoon on decent volume. It's worth mentioning, but a tiny little float here, 10 million share float on SKYH, up to $20 on decent volume. Again, just be careful with that one. Very, very low float. I wanted to mention Ford. Ford trying to get back to day highs. Guys, crude oil's trying to get back to day highs as well. We were up to about 112. We came all the way back into 106 on that inventory number. Now right back to almost 111. So oil names worth a watch here this afternoon. But Ford, the big news, or one of the big stories we were discussing in the pre-market this morning, definitely going to separate their EV business from their ICE business and operate the two independently from each other, which has created quite the positive move today.
Yeah, we'll floss it off. Hey guys, welcome back to the closing show. Very excited that we have two of our viewers ringing the bell tonight. So we forgot to mention that on the first show. That should be fun. Isaac and Mohammed going to come through and help us ring the closing bell tonight. So shout out to you guys. Well, I guess maybe they're watching now, maybe they're en route. But yeah, look, man. I mean, Ford. We talked about this on Prad's show, and I think Luca was talking about it as well when he came on as a guest trader. And thank you so much for that, Luca. But you could see here on the sticky note that Ford right here, guys, we had it named on the sticky note here as I mean, these aren't in any order, but it looks like Ford's going to be our best idea. Right? Let's just go long, like long 1650, long 17, long anything. That's what we wanted to do here based on that play. So you could see today, and it just sucks because like here's our long Fords. It never got to 17. So 1730 off the open. It comes back in and retests basically those levels again. And we like it. So we talked about this. It's so nice. We like it twice. But then look, man, like it sucks that I'm not still in this. And I said this yesterday. And believe me when I tell you I'm working on this. And I have another example with AMD as well, where, you know, I get out when we break this 50 period because I'm trusting it all the way. And it's just like, it just kept going. Like I basically got out here at Ford at 1775 or 1778, whatever on that break at the time it was down there. But broke that, and then we were also nervous about this 75. So we thought it was a pretty cool move by getting out, but you could see Ford just extending, man. Another wicked day for them, up 9%. And I mean, I talked, honestly, if you guys watched the show, I mean, I was talking about there might be no better name to buy than Ford. Obviously, there's going to be stocks that are up more than Ford today, but again, a big kind of a blue chip call, a blue collar name, I guess, but also a blue chip name in the EV space right now. Ford is going to be one of those names that I believe work for the rest of 2022. And I don't see any reason. I mean, look, Ford's going crazy here. Most of their business, I mean, obviously all of their business pretty much still is on combustion engines, and right now oil's up 8%. Ford, normally, might be going to the downside, but nice news today. Looks like they're trying to break out of this range right to the upside here for Ford. So great trade. Congratulations to anybody that was able to get long 16 or 17. It's now up to 18, 20. Definitely a missed opportunity for me, but again, it's net-wise, it's my fourth highest stock, but it's just one of those plays where we have no losing trades on it today. It's just we should still be long, and I got to do better holding some of these ideas off the open, because honestly, when I look back at this sticky note, like short Rivian 60, long Ford where we are right now, SoFi, as Neil just talked about, that didn't trade properly today, so that was an easy one to get out of. And then AMC, the proof is in the pudding on that trade. So yeah, so far so good. I really like GM or Ford, but I haven't looked at GM. I wonder if that's doing the same thing.
Well, let's leave that one, because I think we might talk about GM a little bit. Ford's the one, like it's up 8%. GM is having a good day. I think we can have that discussion, because maybe they should be doing a similar thing. The legacy business is so vastly different. You want to make sure you're making that coin, keep the money piling in. That's part of the reason it's a good stable stock. But you want that different leadership, and you want to separate those businesses so that you can be a little bit more efficient for your growth. Breaking out a channel, it's perfect here. Like that, it's almost like the dip yesterday in Ford gave you just confirmation that high 16, low 17 area was going to be reestablished, and then you saw it in the pre-market. But what's more interesting now is you're approaching a breakout on the daily chart at 1865, like the exact same bottom that we had been putting in, this mid-18 area that was holding support all throughout the end of last year, and to start this year that broke down. You get the 200 period bounce, and now you're looking to make another breakout. So it looks great on the chart because you've been hugging the 200 period, and now you get a consolidation break possibly looming here on Ford. That's why it stands out for over the trade for GM, even if there's some similarities there. So I think it's going to be a great one for the rest of the week. You have a couple days left, and into next week, maybe it makes that break tomorrow. I don't know, maybe it makes a break next week, but that's one you have to have on your radar. Sometimes you look at a level like that, and it was much like Citigroup breaking down today. Like, you might have to wait 2 or 3 days, but as long as you put your alert on or have it written down, you know when it gets there, you want to have the trade on because it's a key level.
Let's go back to SoFi. We got your take there, Neil, to begin with, off the top at 2 o'clock. But SoFi trying to get back to the upside as we speak right now. Decent report. That is not the right chart, but you get the idea. The report itself, pretty good, guys, right across the board. I mean, there really wasn't anything outstanding that, jumped off the page as far as negative here. But as you were saying, SoFi didn't really do what everyone was expecting off the open.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it was up 30-something% going into earnings in just a few days. Sometimes that happens, right? Like, it's already come, and then there's a sell the news event. I thought it would be buy the dip because of the short interest. I mean, look, I look at that in Nordstrom's, and the logic for me on why SoFi was the dip buy initially over Nordstrom's at the open and wanted Nordstrom's to fall further was Nordstrom's had gone very far. They both had the short interest. They both had a beat. Now, granted, Nordstrom's made money. Maybe that's a differentiator, but it ended up being wrong. I flipped to the short now, and I don't know what this candle was at 115 or 117. I don't think there was news or anything. It just had a bit of a rollover. But if it breaks VWAP, fine. Like, I guess the long will still be on. I think it's trending back down toward the lows. You can't ignore the fact that the NASDAQ's about to take the top again and be up about 2% after Powell speaks, and SoFi is not getting off the bottom. Like, at some point, I can't ignore that. Powell lifted everything except for SoFi breaking back out. So if I'm going to pick on relative weakness, I have a small cap IMPP on for the short side trade as well. But yeah, outside of that, it's just SoFi. I mean, I was looking at a few other names, and everything is so strong after the Fed talk there, or I guess testimony, I suppose. It's not really a talk. He's in front of Congress.
Yeah, look, so SoFi, I think the same thing, and I talked about it off the open there, that, you know, the possibility of some people selling SoFi off the open was great. And, you know, we had a monster move. It hit the 50 period. It's all the way back here. I feel like if you were long taking a shot on SoFi, you definitely cashed out this morning. And I think that's the prudent thing to do. And probably, not probably, look at the first couple candles here. And again, it's just like, I got to flip over and like start to trade sort of more plays like this off the open that actually makes sense, as opposed to just trade where we think the stock is going. Like this was a sell the event. Like SoFi not making money, they barely beat, but we got so excited when you came in today and you saw it up that 20% or so. I guess it was 15 or 16 by the time it opened, but you know, big move in, a lot of money being cashed out of this stock. So for me, I was just fooled here because we used 1260 bottom there in the pre-market thinking, hey man, we were at 1320, 1260 is pretty sweet, right? I mean, that's like a drop down of 4 or 5% right there. So it actually gives you that drop right off the open. So, and this is where the trouble started. If we had really waited for 12 flat, then we probably could have been fine. But unfortunately, it just kept averaging in. And then, like I said, we were licking our wounds here, getting out at 12. And then we found a decent long. We just got out right now at 1175 break. But we found a decent long here at 1184 above the 50 period moving average. And then hit it for a little long up to 12. But SoFi today, net-wise, my worst. No, Palantir. SoFi and Palantir just back and forth, the two red names. I only have two red names today, that's SoFi and Palantir. So again, it's Kathy's arc not being built on any of my money. It's actually going the other way. But that's what that is on SoFi. Definitely a frustrating stock for me because I feel like I should have known that it was going to pull back. It's just been such a great day for SoFi last night off earnings that, yeah, they pulled back in and, you know, sort of got fooled on that one.
All right, AMC was the other one, the other big name to report. It gave you a lot of hints, I guess, is the best way to put it, in the pre-market, not really doing anything compared to where we ended the session yesterday. I mean, there was a nice pop aftermarket on the report itself, but it was nothing but back and forth we go all morning anyways, guys, for AMC.
Yeah, so just getting my orders ready for PayPal. We are short PayPal off this 107 high. Let's just see. I feel like the market might turn around here. So short. We took a little bit of profit there on PayPal quickly. Now we'll see if it can retest. It just went down to 34, which would have put us in the money a dime. But we should have, you know, I would have liked to take a piece out there. So we'll sit there again in case this market does crash. But AMC, what's up? We'll say a shout out. We'll see if it can moon here if we do that. And then we give a big shout out to Ape Nation, who is right here. There it is, right there as Ape Nation going into control today. Look, it's right back to its day high. So the only sad thing is that I tried the reload and then it broke 1750 and I got out and then unfortunately ignored it the rest of the afternoon. We had a production meeting, obviously 12, but I should have hit this, that 1760 break back to the upside, basically the same trade again, fails, out once and then back up, and then there's a nice move back up to the upside, and it looks like it's just consolidating right here, but it's nice to see that it's positive. We were wondering in the AM what was wrong with AMC. It turns out to be nothing. It's a nice move up. It's just a squeeze, or you know, the retail push today is just not there. Not sure why. Maybe it's coming tomorrow or at some point, but it was a great trade off the open, and we were really patient, waited for 1760. It just tanked off the open again. We got that trade, and then it was just like boom, out at moving averages, out at the 50 period. Then we hold the last bid for 1840. So it was an 80-cent winner. AMC, still a very positive stock for me today. And like, this is what I mean. Take the big wins, and then when you lose, this is a long at 60, that's an out at 46. So it's 14 cents loss, which is basically the same part we took on the first part was 14 cents. There's the loss right there. But AMC looking pretty good. Let's see if we can retest VWAP down here at 18. I think that might be worth it. And then we'll see where we go from here. But AMC today, kind of disappointing without too much movement. We thought that it would be a banger today. Doesn't look like it wants to do anything, so we'll wait to see what happens tomorrow on AMC. Only 26 million shares, really disappointed. I would have took the over under 50 million for sure, probably gone over without studying the numbers, but I just feel like 26 seems light, and just for some reason not so much interest in AMC today.
I'd have taken the over for sure.
Yeah.
When we sat down, it was like, why is this only done a couple 100,000 shares in the pre-market? It just, up or down, whatever the report is, you expect more. Now, I'm not sure. I mean, Sean went over the levels and had the trade. I didn't have it. I wish I could say I did, but I didn't have the long off the bottom. But whatever is going on here at $18.45 or 46 cents is at least of a little bit of interest. It's not significant other than the fact that for the last hour and change, hour and a quarter, it's basically been sitting off of this level. There's been one significant pullback, and then we're still barcoding. So whether or not that's an iceberg, I don't see anything obvious on the level 2. I mean, a few thousand shares on the offer at 43, 44, 45, but nothing crazy. Nothing that you think would stand in the way. So maybe you have an iceberg there, which could set up for a break. I know there's overhead resistance from this morning, but a quick little break at that level if the volume comes in, maybe the market wants to get going. I mean, 4,400 is in sight on the ES, and the NASDAQ is at the top as well, 2%. But 1845, 1846, whatever this is, if it goes, you've seen AMC make breaks late in the day, and you have this obvious top forming for whatever reason. If it's an iceberg, you just watch to see on the level 2, like whether it gets re-upped or it goes down to 100 shares and continues to fill. That'll be an indication. But some trickery going or some fishiness going on that offer in AMC.
Let's go to Rivian. Just reading a little headline coming across there, guys. Sorry about that. Let's go to Rivian. The price hike not liked, clearly, right across the board. 20% to the upside for the new R1T. I mean, it was already, as we said this morning, crazy expensive. So now you're going to pay 20% more if you want one of these trucks.
Yeah, and shareholders are going to be able to get the stock for 12.5% less, too. So, yeah, we talked about that.
Actually.
Again, yeah, well, maybe even more than that, as we're down 12.8% right now. But look, again, it's on the sticky note. It's my #1 play of the day, and it's my #1 stock. So a Rivian right here on a break of 60. Bang, right to the downside. Normally, we don't take this in the pre-market. It did give Neil a reload up here. Still in the pre-market, actually. I didn't even realize that. So it still came, well, I mean, I realized it. I just thought it wasn't once it opened. But came right back up to $60 again. So it does give you that reload opportunity. And again, this was just one of those plays where I saw the headline. I came in, I wrote the sticky note, and it was just like, man, we're going to hit $60 to the short side. Really nothing on the daily that shows us anything about $60 here. That's anything significant. Nothing really anywhere about it. All that it was simply just, I mean, here's 60 right here. So, I mean, I don't even see, it's not even like it's a key level. It's just a $60 flat price, right? I mean, when it gave us that, we had the outs up here at 62. So we were looking for that. I never thought that would even come into play. And there it is. There's the short on Rivian. And honestly, this is each out 20. So 20, 40, 60, 81. So the last piece is there goes PayPal to the downside. So yeah, buddy, on that one. But right now here, that was ending the trade here, $6 winner. So that's a nice move all the way to the downside. Got out at $54.50, so $5.50 worth of a win. We tried to short it on some pops here. Looks like we got a little too early and we got out, so we did give a little bit back. Still, I said it was my #1 stock, but let me just double check that. No, AMD is my #1 stock, and that one I want to really upset about that, but we'll talk about that after as well. We tried to short again. It goes up to VWAP and stops at 55. So Rivian just continues to make a move down. Looks like if we held our short all day, we'd be laughing right now. We don't have that crystal ball, but Rivian definitely pays out. Great stock today. It's on the sticky note, and we'll be looking to short that thing tomorrow again. More prices in this environment, not going to work. So Rivian, to me, was an easy one.
And 50 coming in. Like on the daily chart, right? Obviously, Rivian's a recent listing. So the $50 level, which is that low from January, could be in play tomorrow. So I think that's a level no way I thought we were actually even getting to this low on Feb 24th, let alone 50, but we're getting very close to it. The other aspect of that trade is you had a multi-day support level at 60, 70 here that got broken. And once that shelf was gone, it was a little early in the pre-market when it broke, candidly. Like this was at like 8:15 or 8:20 or something along those lines. So it was pretty early. I'm not even sure we'd been on air at that point. But the consolidation was at that 60 level. So it was the first even level after that 60, 70. I played the range and should not have, filling in the gap. And then it continued to make the next gap down. So if you're watching this afternoon, which you obviously are, 52.5 is the bottom that you had on the 24th. From there, 50 on the daily. And I mean, if Rivian doesn't defend that price, it gets pretty ugly from that point. So it's down that 13%. It's at the low. The only reason I said Well, maybe, is because it's at the low of the day right now, and the market's at the highs rolling over. So you can imagine what could happen if Rivian were to take out the low right now.
Before I throw back to Brendan just quickly here, I just want to say shout out to Mike here because smart man. I mean, it's not. I'm like I said, people's trader, right? I'm trying to give you guys like this is a PDT trade, right? So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go like one in, a few different outs for you guys. We have the same trade on AMD today that we're going to talk about soon. Some trades like on Palantir and things like that where I'm like just going crazy on those stocks. That's not going to be for PDT. But again, that's what I'm doing that for. It's like, and it's just about your different style. Like if you're going to trade like sort of how Neil does counter trending, you know, you're going to get in, and then if it breaks higher, you get out, right? So on those kind of trades, probably not great for PDT, but for day trading, like, you know, you have those big dollar move downs on some of those plays, but again, you may, you know, lose on that 1-for-1 trade. So that's kind of like what we're doing. What's up? These cameras, I like this. Anyways, smart thinking there, Mike. You're on the right page with me, and I'm just trying to get better as well on that one. You know, just like these PayPal trades, we're getting out now. I'm bidding down here 116.10 to see if we can make a 30-cent worth of victory on this one, and then we'll see if PayPal can go back to 105.50. But good luck on that one, Mike, on the PDT. That is what I am trying to do. Just give a little more flavor to some of these trades.
Before we go on, just I'll go case closed on SoFi there because if you remember that previous low, and we were sort of talking about this in the trade of the day, and then we were long, it was in front of 11.65. Now this was a failed break at the bottom that bounced off 11.50. So to me, that's a failed break. If it breaks the low of the day with momentum like that and then manages to hold that next obvious level, that's 11.50, it then breaks back out, that's where my target's going to be. So the short has worked. If it comes back up to VWAP, I'll probably try to do the exact same thing again, just playing within the range and taking advantage of it. Really, SoFi down here has been a scalp trade. If you do it off the long, it's worked out for you. I decided to flip into the shorts. But for now, the market's starting to roll over here. So if you got those longs, think about taking some profits and seeing a lot of things looking like they want to roll over. And Sky H, by the way, ooh, that fell fast. That's already halted once down and is given back $5.
Yeah, the market rolling over a little bit. Crude oil, however, not so much. Here is a picture of, or here's a chart of crude. Now 7% once again back to the upside. Got back to 111 and change there on that last push to the upside. This was 112.5. You got to go all the way back to August of 2011. The last time it was trading up there at 112.5 on these Russia-Ukraine worries still affecting the oil markets. But quite the V bottom here, guys, for crude oil today, benefiting some oil stocks in a big way.
And you can say that again. I'm a little frustrated by, on Oxy, I was trying to get the dip buy on Oxy. I missed it by 10 to 15 cents on the dip. And then CVX, the trade that we put on yesterday was allowing it to go parabolic and then shorting in front of 150 and scalping it to VWAP. And then it does the exact same move, just replace 150 with 155. And I don't get it until it already pulls back. And unfortunately, it was right in advance of the oil inventories coming out at 10:30. So I do take the trade off because I just didn't want to get trapped when the oil number came out. And I was too tight to that. So it ended up being a smaller win when yesterday it gave you that almost perfectly. And you're seeing the exact same setup. Like how many times are we going to see dip and rip, whether it's CVX, whether it's Occidental, whether it's Devon, or maybe if you're just trading oil futures. But there's been no stopping this move, right? Like it's been a straight shot to the upside. And every time you believe that it can't go again, like this morning when, say, Chevron was pulling back, guess what? They just find a bid and start to rally. So this is a pure trend that hasn't even come close to breaking. And sometimes you just want to wait to see. It's a long. We say it's a short till it's not all the time for companies. I remember saying that for Firm and Moderna when you're day trading. And oil's just been a long till it's not. So you're either getting those breakouts or the dip buys, which I tried this morning, or you're having to wait until you form a top to take a short. Like you cannot short it until it makes a defined top. And then you look for that small pullback trade with a high probability of success and a tight stop.
What were we talking about? Oil? Okay, so I just want to talk quickly about PayPal because we just took some out again. Short, trying to make this as clean as possible. Next bid rate here out, 105.70. We'll see if we can get that bid. No real reason why, just halfway sort of in between. And then we will see if we can test that. And I did want to talk about it because Palantir again today, it's right back up. We tried to short. We actually did pretty good shorting, made some money back here, shorting 67s, out 55 or so on and so forth. But then it broke upside, and we had too many shares there, so we got in and out quickly. Now it's back to the upside. Look at this. We're looking right at $12 again, and we just bounced off the 50 period. So Palantir right now, that would have been a fantastic long, but it just shot up. So I don't know why. Like, it just went up there pretty aggressively, so I'm not sure about that. But I'm debating this short right here at 12 bucks. But I would rather play the short if it takes down this 50 period. So I'd almost rather play the short against the 12 just because of what the market's doing. You can see here the market's pulling back in a little bit, and now the market's below the 50 period for one of the first times at all today. We did notice it right here. That's where I got out of my AMD, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so right now, just looking at the NASDAQ, looking at Palantir, and really just debating what to do. I'm going to wait for 92 to break. You'll see me punch a short there at 92. But that's what I'm looking at. We still have 40 cents now in the money on PayPal, and we'll look to do the same thing here. It's more the fact that if these futures continue to go up right now, then I'm not in the short. So that's the point, right? Is that, like, if I take a short right now at 96 or 97 and the futures continue to make a move up, then yeah, I'm going to get out at 12. It's only 3 or 4 cents worth of risk, but still, I'd rather play the momentum breaking to the downside. So watch out here as Palantir's coming in. We are going to take a short at 11.92 if you do see that come in here. So we'll be PayPal short and Palantir short in just a matter of seconds, but we need the NASDAQ to continue the move down to get the confirmation.
We will cover what is to come for earnings. I was just double checking Best Buy, guys, coming up before the market opens tomorrow morning. BBY just popping up on a volume scanner there. You can see big red candle just came in with the overall market, but nice day, 3.5% still. Nice couple of days, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. Straight back to the upside for Best Buy. Again, earnings tomorrow morning. Before we get going tomorrow morning, we'll talk about Best Buy in the pre-market. Join us then. Frustrating stocks. There were lots of options, I guess is the best way to put it. If you joined us in the pre-market this morning and at the open, you really had to be focused, I guess, on individual names because there were lots of opportunities, guys. But give us your frustrations for today.
To me, it's going to be an easy one, but it's a different reason than we're used to. It wasn't about an execution error or the stock doing something frustrating. It's just that I waited for that Citigroup trade. We talked about the level on Citigroup, going back to 2021, 57.5, and then just recently in December, it made that low, bounced all the way to the 200 period average, and then you're coming back in right to that level. So I said, when that goes, I want the short off of that level in Citigroup. The banks have been under pressure. Everything was sort of lining up for it. It gave you two shots. First, it gives you the pop and fade at the open. And then it's heading down to the lows. I'm like, I'm going to hold some for the home run. It comes right back up, gives another pop and fade. I scalp some out again. I want to hold for the home run trade. I'm like, I want this. It's going to go. We should at least get to 55 and test that, and maybe I'd put a trail in. And sometimes it's just a matter of circumstance. Obviously, you had Fed Chair Powell talking today, and the reality is he made some comments which are very, very bullish for the overall market. And remember, some of the pressure on the banks was the worries that the Fed would ruin the economy with their action, and that was putting some pressure on the banks because people were afraid the economic outlook would be put struggles on them to be able to get loans and whatnot, send out loans, and ultimately a monstrous recovery came back into the overall market. It was like it didn't matter what you were short. You could throw all your levels out the window. You could throw your sentiment with few exceptions. If it followed the market, it was going up. And then all you could do here was understand. Like there was one point when there was a bit of a pullback right at my entry price. It's like, okay, you have a good level because that's where it checked back up. And maybe it was going to be able to hold. And then it just didn't matter. Everything started breaking out and it gave up the ghost and we had to get out just barely past flat. And then you'll see the run that happened. You can't get stubborn with that. It doesn't matter your initial reason for the trade. There are some events that are just going to change the flow of how a stock is trading. And there's nothing you can do. Like you can want what was right in the morning to continue to be right, but it's not going to care. The market doesn't give a rat's you-know-what about what you think or what your read is. When Powell moves the market or the Fed moves the market, you just have to be willing to go along with the ride or at least not fight them. In this particular case, it was frustrating because it was working and it looked like it could have held it all day long, and now you have the big reversal. So great for the banks and great for the long term and great for the market today, but a bit frustrating because this trade was really working.
Your boy doesn't have too many frustrating stocks for me today, to be honest with you. For me, I guess I mean, I was going to say AMD, but I'm so profitable on it today, so I'm not going to use that one. We're into Palantir right now. Maybe could be the frustrating stock of the day for me, but again, we're in the short now at 92. We just took a bid at 90. It went down to 89. We got out of there out of literally 10%. So hopefully, I don't have any more bids. We'll wait to see 85, then 83 down there, see if we can get that one out. But yeah, no, nothing. You know what? I mean, I'm going to go with, and I'm trying to avoid something that I've already talked about, but I'm just going to say AMC. AMC is my most frustrating stock, and there's really not much to look at on the board here. I'm just going to look at this number, volume. I just feel like, I was primed, ready to go on AMC today, and there wasn't much here. Again, you're going to look at this and say, what are you talking about? You could have been long here and short up here. But yeah, I mean, we can look at that for any chart. It's more just like, hey, where was the trade today? I was expecting like big runners to happen. I feel like we got the best trade of the whole day right here. Buy that bottom, wait, be patient as we can, buy it, take it out all the way to the upside. So I'm like really happy with my executions in here. I don't have any problems like that. I held 20% to the upside. So for me, that's really good. Normally we don't do that. But I'm just saying that AMC not executed, as I feel like all my executions today are pretty good. But again, AMC today, my most frustrating stock, and it's more disappointing than anything else. Like, I just thought that AMC would come through with a little bit more movement, I should say, and liquidity and just, options and some more squeezes. And, but today, not squozed at all. That is AMC. Look at the futures coming right back. So we are going to get out a part of this Palantir trade once it does break back above 95. Nothing we could do. The futures just completely stopped there. And this is my style of trading now, man. Like, I'm going to try to take the best opportunities I can see. And then if the market continues to go like it's been doing, there we go. Now we'll get out of some on, it just has to print 96, and we'll get out a little bit. And then look, I'll hit this short again. It's just I don't want to hold it forever here on Palantir. So let me cancel that. Maybe we'll wait for 12 to break before we do anything, because we're just dancing here. So let's wait for 12 to break on Palantir. Disappointing right now that the market's not following through. Same with PayPal, man. We had a nice move to the downside, and now it's trying to squeeze itself back up. So let's watch out for these futures. Very, very dangerous now. Not doing anything. And, what's up to Frank as well? He was talking about waiting for this to happen. And yeah, I'm waiting for something to happen in the market as well. We just resisted that 14,220 again. So it just hit down to where we were at lunchtime, and now it just hit again. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe the market does want to go upside. Not much we can do except for follow what the market's giving us. So for right now, we're stuck short on PayPal, which is fine. We're in the money 10 cents, and we're out of the money 3 whopping cents on Palantir as well. So PayPal's still looking for shorts.
Just a couple of names here. One, we didn't talk too much about the we talked a little bit about the pharmaceuticals. There was some talk over, I guess, in the presidential address about getting rid of cancer and sort of attacking it heavily, and it being a big push. There were some names that stood to benefit by them. A couple we mentioned were Bristol Myers and Pfizer as well. And look, it's strong this morning, so it's strong this afternoon, and Pfizer is going to quickly show the 15 because I'm looking at this trade if it makes another pop. 15-minute chart, that is. A couple of days ago, we got to this 48 and we've had a hard reversal, nice $3 move back. You get one parabolic move today back into the same level and you're starting to reject. So I want to be shorting this one off the top. If it gets anywhere near that 48 level again, it can break it because the last time it was there, it got to 05. Even if you go back last week, it would break 48 and get to the quarters or so, or just a little bit more, and then still fade back in. So I think you almost have to let 48 go by a little bit. And then IMPP, which I didn't, we actually had a long in this one this morning because I didn't want to short. I thought the $2 break would be good for it, especially given it was an energy name, but that got given up. But it managed to hold those pre-market lows, and when it holds those pre-market lows, on a breakout style play, I do not want to short anything but the actual high today. That's what I'm sitting in right now. If it breaks VWAP, I want to be all out by 190. It's shown no signs that it wants to break below that 190 price. A lot of buy support in IMPP. That'll be fine. It's a $2 stock, but that's the only short I have on. But I am looking for Pfizer, which super strong day. But if the market's at a high, and if you find a good level, I want to be short in front of those top on some names just in case we give it back.
Crude futures about to test at least the highs once again. So oil, marching back to the upside. There was a big spike there when electronic trading wrapped up. I saw a few people mentioning this one. MCG up big time today. 21% at day highs, trying to get back into its daily range. Very small float on this as well. Just heads up on this 34 million, I should say, on membership collective group. Sure. MCG in New York going crazy. Apparently, I wanted to talk about one more thing here. Crypto stocks, guys. Some of the crypto stock, Coinbase, one of those trying to get back higher here along with Bitcoin. It's been a bit of a choppy day overall for cryptocurrency, as I said, to kick things off. Maybe constructive over the past 2-3 days. We've had quite the volatility, so good to see it at least holding. But some crypto-related stocks, anyways. You're just talking about PayPal. They're trying to get back higher.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned PayPal, so I'll pull up Square or Block. If we're talking crypto, I should at least call them Block, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll call them Block. That has strong move the last couple of sessions, and strong is probably a bit of an understatement because 80 to 130 is pretty intense. But it got that double top, and I'm sort of kicking myself, but not really, because we had a few names right in the morning when we were really starting to make some of the shorts work out. You did have Square breaking this level at 124, and someone had mentioned in the chat, and all I said was, be careful. If it takes that level, you've got room to run. You can obviously see what happens when you break a shelf like that. But it's right back to putting 124 support to resistance. That's what I'm seeing in the afternoon. So, Block is one. If we're going to be range bound up at this top, which is kind of what the market's doing right now in crypto as well, then this looks like pretty good resistance on Block at 124. So if I get a shot at 123 half, 123 60, 70, something along those lines, I want to be short on Square. If it breaks 124, we'll just get out of it because that's still obvious level, and I'm not going to hold past that, especially with the market looking so strong. Powell will reverse the market, so you don't want to be too, not greedy, but the word would be undisciplined or stubborn about your shorts in front of the high. Yeah, stubborn. You don't want to be too stubborn about shorts in front of the highs of the day, but I do want to take some shots.
With that note, actually, I just want to give a quick update here because so we're still in the 40% of PayPal, but the market is not cooperating to the short. It looks like it wants to go higher here. So we did cash a little bit out. We're still waiting for Palantir to break 12 before we get out. And we just did take another piece out on Palantir for flat there. But just to zoom in a little bit here for PayPal. So short, out. So it's good so far. I mean, our shorts are high. This is one short there and another short right here. And then out. So out 30s, 34, 32, out 17s, and then this was a little out as well. So we'll wait. I'm giving this to the high of the day here, 106.90. I'm not even going to give it to 107. Why would I bother? If it takes out this high right now, we'll get out. So 106.90, if that gets taken out, we're out of that. And then just because we're going to go to something else, and I just wanted to give a quick update. Look, Palantir, so we took some piece out at 90, and then we got out for 92s flat. So we're still holding on to 70% of the position, which will come out if we break above 12. So just an update on that one. And again, it's about not being stubborn. Like, if the market continues to go upside, which it's going to do, I'm not going to fight the short. It's 242. There's an hour left in the market. Why would you want to give back everything that you've made because of one, wrong call? So make sure that you are watching out for these. Look, I'll give back some of it for sure, as I did like the short. But hey, for now, ooh, that looks like a different, is that different? No, I don't know. It looks like more zoomed in, this double shot here, but I like it, whatever. It's probably the same. All right, that's that. So just a quick update. Palantir breaking through 12. We go.
Lots of talk recently on the market pullback and whether or not it will be a buying opportunity. It's just a matter of when. We're going to give you guys in this video a few ideas to add to your shopping list. Guys, let's go. Jump right into your top 3, I guess we'll call it, shopping ideas to come here.
So look,
wait a minute, top 3 each?
Well, I'll do it very quickly. I mean, but the first one is going to be, it's a little bit of ways away, and I'm not sure you can do it just yet. They just had earnings, and that's going to be Salesforce. It's still 50 times earnings, and it's expensive. But for the long term, I definitely love what the company's doing, and I don't think there's any problem with the report. I just think it sold off in the morning because it was still pricey. The market had some trouble and pullback, and thank goodness there was the bounce that we had because of the Fed. But I think it was mostly due to that Fed and bouncing off 200. I think once you take out on the daily that 200 level, you just start buying on the way down. And when it gets to about 30 on a PE, that's when it's like a jam session. But the other one I wanted to throw in here was that we talked about Ford, but General Motors, right? Like, it's single digits PE, and if you're going to make a shot on the EV names, I just feel at least you have the cover of it not being overly expensive right now. Unlike Ford, they want to go fully electric faster, and they're not making incremental steps in some regard. So I think they can be riskier than Ford in a lot of ways. But they also have more room to run at this particular point, and you're getting it both at a good value and at a pretty decent price on the pullback. So that's a place I think you can obviously start nibbling into something like a Ford. And if I have to quickly just do the last one, and this is going, look, I'm going to say semis all day long. And there's probably nothing wrong with nibbling in a lot of names here but we just had the address by Biden, and he talked about building back home and making sure the production is going to be in the U.S. And he mentioned specifically Intel, and it's now back down at prices where, okay, well, if you believe in their turnaround, you're going to have to wait a couple of years for the fab play. But overall, if you want to get into these names, this is already at a pretty attractive price. And again, if the market's going to continue to pull back, you're getting one that's not at a super high multiple. So it's a good time to start digging into it. Of course, I'm going to love AMD and Marvell at valuations as they come down. But right now, Intel's at an attractive one.
All right, so I'll just do my first one, and it's the play of 2021 that we gave you guys. I'm going to give it again. It's not Fisker. That's going to be another one, but so there it is. Spoiled that. I should have changed it over. It's going to be the SMH, right? So it's very similar to what Neil just said. I feel like the semis have been beat down a little bit here. I like the SMH. You can also go for the SOX as well. I'm looking for the daily chart here, and when I get that, then I'll show you, but here it is right here. So I just, we're well below now the 50-period moving average here on the SMH. And again, who's involved in this? All those names, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, everybody's in there. We're below the 200 period, and I feel like we've made a base. So we're talking about going shopping. If you get this thing anywhere below 250, I think it's wise to maybe start now, but then anything below 250 or around 250 is great for a move back up. I think we at least take out the 50 period. So if you do that, that's like $30 on 270, so you're looking at about 10% move up at least, I think, in the SMH. So hey, you can grab 10% this year. I think you're doing pretty good, and I think that's at the absolutely bare minimum. You just caught me on my next play, and that's going to be Fisker. And again, do I think that some EV names are good plays right now? Yeah, why not? I mean, we're going to have to get through inflation. We're going to have to get through some of these rate hikes, and we're going to have to get through lack of profitability. But, once we're through there, I feel like they're on target. They're supposed to be on target for November. As long as they don't do what Rivian did and start upping the prices, their Fisker Ocean is supposed to be really, well priced. Another name to get into here, Fisker. We do know that the Pope, we kept talking about this. He's going to be rolling around in the Pope mobile, which is going to be Fisker. That's nice. And then EV, always good talk about EV. And right now too, they're getting suppressed a little bit because of China and Russia. There's a lot of product, obviously, to make these batteries that come out of that region. So right now, I think Fisker anywhere, south of 12, like 11s, things like that. And I'm just giving you names where I believe the word nibble can start now. So I think you could start now with Fisker. And then if you're back down into the 10 to 12 area, that's also great. And then honestly, because we're talking about, what you can do with a portfolio, I always say own, don't trade. Apple, and I know that's a Jim Cramer thing as well, and I don't think he's wrong. I mean, I just think that Apple will continue to work any kind of movement back down into 150, 152, this 200 period rate down here. What a golden buy these opportunities are. 156, 157, 158. Look, part of the reason why PayPal, Square, all these guys have been getting hit is because Apple owns everything. And like when you open up a website, Best Buy, for example, the Apple Pay logo is right there. Apple has their hands in everything. They're selling more phones than ever. They're selling more watches than ever. They have a bunch of new products. The iPhone 13, the largest selling phone in China right now. Look, I just think that Apple continues to work in any environment. And if you get the pullback, the drawdown in the NASDAQ, you want to be a buyer of Apple's, plain and simple. So I think that's an easy one, and it is what it is. But I hate saying it is what it is, but with Apple, it is what it is. Brendan.
It is what it is, and it's always good, typically, for Apple. Let's go to the home builders group, because I want to talk about a couple that have been just selling off the entire start of this year. We'll start with DHI. I'll give you the two biggest ones. January was up here, 108. We've come all the way down to 76.5, but put in a pretty decent bounce already back to 85. Yes, higher interest rates may mean that less people are looking to buy homes, but this is also something that is not going to go away and is possibly priced in. Here's the other one, LEN, a nice bounce off of 80 already, back to 91. Very clear defined levels long term. These are dividend stocks that will sit nicely in your portfolio for the long term. So there we go. I think that was, what, top 6 maybe ideas to put on your shopping list going forward, guys. Seven. There we go. Great ideas. I wanted to actually mention a few of those because we talked tech, mega cap tech this morning. And I mean, some of those ended up giving you a bit of a move today. But as you said, Sean, buy, hold, maybe not a trade at this point.
Actually, I want to talk about Apple because Apple's dominance came into play for me just recently. I'm actually sort of buying a car, and when you get your pink slip, it's like they can email it to you when you get your insurance, right? It's a pink slip that goes. So you'll have to have a physical one. But if you want a temporary one and you want to put it into your wallet, you have to actually download an app if you're on Android to be able to have an Apple wallet. Something held because
on off the paper.
But the Android app, you can't get it in your Android wallet yet. So it's obviously coming. Maybe it's just with my provider, but on Apple you're good to go. But I had to get a special app so as an Android user I could then have that in the Apple wallet, even though it's on my Android. A bit of a hack, but it goes to show things come first to Apple. We were talking about Truth just when they had their launch. It went to the App Store first. I mean, look, it'll come to Android eventually. I'm not saying I'm an Android guy, so I'm not trying to sit here and talk crap about Android. It's just that Apple's still the big dog, and when the big dog is winning, you want to make sure you're not fighting against it. So Apple, another great run today. And what I said this morning about the big names, if we're going to have an update, what you wanted to see is leadership by them. Like when we came and sat down, Apple and the NYSE NASDAQ were all about the same, 0.25% at that point, and now you have Apple 2.5%. Leading both markets here. I'm going to make an assumption that Microsoft is doing the same thing because it probably is, but yeah, that's what you want to see. You're breaking out those highs at a moment when the market's trying to do so. Of course, perfect timing for me to have just gotten into the square short as I'm talking about Apple bringing the market higher and making new highs. But like a square off that 124 is the trade that I wanted to have. The timing just couldn't be any more ridiculous that I just put on a square short.
Well, I mean, timing is all part of it. Yeah,
it's live. Whatever. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Market. Timing is what it is. Okay, so yeah, look, I believe in all that stuff with Apple and everything. So I mean, that's why it is that pick, and that's why we always talk about making sure that you play Apple properly and definitely hold something. They also pay a dividend as well. So some people don't know that. Okay, so Palantir right now, last shot right here, another short. And look, I see you, Henry, saying that this is probably the wrong play. And look, what am I? Yeah, I mean, maybe it is the wrong play. Palantir has been a negative stock for me the last couple of days, so definitely the read on this has not been great for me. We were long early, then we were short. It's actually been an okay stock, but I did think the market would break down, and of course, once I put the Palantir short on, the market broke to new highs. So, I mean, there's not much here. Unfortunately, I don't control the whole NASDAQ, only 5% of it. It's obviously a joke, but as the market goes, so do my trades. So we'll have to just wait to see. I believe it's set up properly. We reloaded something at 99. Our average price is now 93. But we did understand that there was some trouble here. So we did get out. At that time, we got, like I said, we were only holding, I think it was 70% back to the upside there. So we did get out of 30% now, and then we put it back on. So we're back into a position now on Palantir, hoping to go back down to the downside. So that's a play. Now we're good to go, right? Yeah. So let's just go. And I'm going to talk about my AMD because I look at it and I say to myself, why am I not still in this name? And honestly, AMD was my #1 stock today, and we absolutely destroyed AMD. So to say that there's money problems today, there's not. There's no money problems today at all. And AMD, we were very, very patient, man. And all we did was we waited for this dip to come in all morning. We took it early on that break and got out. Then we held half of it all the way down. These are early trades, man, all the way down in. And then we're like, okay, we're not averaging in. We're going to wait. We're going to be very, very specific with AMD. And then what we were playing off of was this bottom, yesterday's bottom, right? The market opened up today. We felt like the market was going to go up today. And we were using this bottom yesterday at the close as our out. That's it. I didn't zoom out, didn't do anything. We just used this as our bottom. With that being said, the first take we took was 35s, 113.35. It came in, and we were giving ourselves right there 50 cents. That's why we took it. 50 cents worth of a room. Boom to the upside. Took $2 on that trade, right? All the way to the upside. We actually took $1 on that trade. Then it came back in, and we got that same long again. We took the same outs. Upside. This one we held. Why? Because we were already crushing this name. So out, reload it back in, and look at these long, 113.30, right? Some of these outs up here, and the reason why we're able to take these outs is because we held some. So all the way back out, up to VWAP there, as Palantir, like the market's going down, and Palantir can't even go down 2 pennies. Man, I hate this stock. Down to the downs. I'm going to be trading AMD more and Microsoft. In, then bang to the upside. And there's the big win right there at 117. So we hold it all the way. It doesn't take out the 50 period all the way out. And then it does take it down and we get out. And they're just back and forth there. Some tries on the short. Didn't work. Upside long. Bang to the upside all the way now 118.50. So we should still be long, but it does break the 50 period there. I said we're going to try to hold those a little bit longer. If you have any ideas how I can, besides having bigger stones, then I don't know. But that was a good trade for me, and it's a $4 winner for AMD. So again, my #1 stock, I'm really, really happy with it, but we should have held it a little bit longer. It was going to be my frustrating name, but AMD right now up to 119 off of these 113s. It's about as clean as it can go, and you're right. Shout out to Mike again. I'm putting on the same trade, trying to let these things ride for you. So it's working out for me as well, but right now AMD looking to test lows here, trying to break through that 118.40. Then I think we could test this low here of 117.60. But for right now, the market has to continue to pull back before I pull any trigger short on AMD.
3 things. One, we'll do a swish for the first leg on Square. 1-to-1, we just took some out in this first consolidation off that 124 high. Second thing, this MRCY, and Brendan's looking to get a confirmation. Like I just saw on Twitter, and it halted up. It then reopened. Come on, there we go. Halted up, reopened, went to $71 and came back down. It's right at almost at the whole price originally. Activist investor Elliott may be looking to buy them according to Twitter. We'll see if there's any confirmation of that story. Obviously, it's trading up on that, so the people believing it. And then I see Twitter here, and I see. Thank you guys for posting this one as well. Looking to add a tab for load up Twitter for podcasts. So it got a spike. Went right to the high of the day and came right back. So Twitter doing Twitter things, which is go to the high and then fail. It looks like there was some initial algo excitement on that headline. I'm going to go and assume that the actual human traders came back in and faded Twitter off the top. It's down when the market is up. I kind of zoomed in to make it look like it was strong, but it's not really. So 35, a bit of a level here on Twitter, as you can clearly see, but there was that headline.
I feel like I'm sitting here looking at Facebook because honestly, man, like Palantir, the market came right back down and Palantir went up. So forget about it. If we win on that one at this point, we're just going to have to let it go. And hopefully it comes back in. So I'm looking now at Facebook. Facebook's been straight up to the upside. And like I said, I'm actually losing faith in Facebook right now just because I'm not happy with the way it's sort of come off the bottom here. I felt like it should have been a little more aggressive through some of these levels considering what the market's done the last couple of days. So I don't know, man. Facebook just has a lot of negativity surrounding them. And, you know, the more articles I read, and like Neil said, he was talking about Twitter podcast, but, you know, the more people I hear talk about Facebook, little bit worried about this as an investment now, but I'm still in it and we'll see where it goes. But this is a name here where, you know, the market's down now trying to push a little bit lower. I feel like you can take this. So I'm going to wait until whatever this was. That was 207.25. If we break below on 207.25 here on Facebook, I think it's worth going short. It's just like, I don't want to, like, why am I going to be short here? Palantir, PayPal, and Facebook? It just seems pretty dangerous to do that. But this 207.25 is something that I'm looking at. We may push a little bit of shares there. So that's something to look at there. Otherwise, if the market rips up, man, I mean, I don't have a problem shorting into this high of the day, 208 and change. But again, if that happens, and all my other spots are going to get smacked out. So, you know, I don't necessarily want that to happen. So we are going to look to push shorts here as the market trying to come down in. So that's it. Like, and what I mean by pushing shorts is just hold the short, and then if we're able to, you know, find something that we can hit to the downside, we'll do that. It looks like our PayPal is working. I know Neil short Square as well. So here comes PayPal back in. We'll see. It just touched down to 106.17 again. I like this short on PayPal. It's near the day's high. The market is not really near the day's high anymore, although we're only 50 points away from it. Let's see if the market works its way back down into the downside. As soon as we get a note here on the imbalances. Then we'll see where they're going. But I still cannot believe that we are now, what is it, 7 days into the invasion? Or what day is it today? Tuesday? I think it was Thursday night maybe. So less than that. We're like 4 or 5 days in, and the market's pretty much been rocking every day. So I feel like there's some pullbacks going to be happening here at some point in these markets. And maybe it's today. I don't know. J-Pow came to the rescue one more time, and not J-Wow. If anybody knows where J-Wow fame is from, we're probably aging ourselves. I don't know if those guys did anything since then, but there it is. And shout out to Luca, who reminds me of a possible Jersey Shore thing as well.
So like I just had an issue for my feed. Like I got kicked out of the chat.
I
had to refresh on Twitter on the brain because of that headline. Damn it. But I had to refresh YouTube just now to have the chat up there, guys. So if you're seeing any issues, just try to refresh your YouTube. I don't know whether there's something going on in their line. But as you said, the market's starting to come back in here. And along with it, some of those shorts. IMPP doesn't seem to care right now about that. But if we're talking about the futures, that is.
Did someone turn this private?
This is what we're talking about, this 14,300, that high. On the futures from the end of the month there, which is just a couple of days ago, did get put in. We're making a bit of a reversal. It's not big right now, but you are starting to roll over. If you're watching the VIX, that's gotten off the bottom a little bit, which I like to try to show you guys from time to time when I think it matters. I think it does here. You're going to see volatility sort of bounce off those highs and try to break out of that consolidation. And if it were to continue, I think you extend the pullback that we're seeing in the overall futures. So I think you always want to be watching volatility because that's the kind of market that we're in. Another press up, and we're going to definitely see that pullback in the futures. For now, you're still within that range comfortably, however.
The market is busting right now to the upside. So I'm debating getting out of this PayPal. I think the PayPal trade is safe. The Palantir trade is not safe. We will wind up losing on that, it looks like. But now the market, again, like it's just not doing anything. We got to find some plays here that are actually going to move for us. Let's go over to SoFi again because just sitting here staring at this Palantir is making me nuts. SoFi is starting to finally go. That's a nice 50-period break. Again, you could take that break. I just don't know what the market's doing here. It's just bouncing back and forth. So I don't know, upside, downside, it's sideways. We'll wait to see, but SoFi, again, doesn't look super sexy to me. Let's go over to AMC. And by the way, guys, bell ringing tonight. Two of our fans, Isaac and Mohammed, will be coming through now to what? Not now, but to ring the closing bell. They message. Okay, there goes Palantir. Palantir just broke out, so that's it. We'll flush ourselves down the toilet. It does break 12, and that's that. We tried it, didn't work. I'm still short, small, just to see what happens. But Palantir breaks to the upside. That's that. Out of that trade, and all we're short is whatever that reload price was right there. So a 99. So we'll wait to see now what Palantir does. I don't even normally I would see this wick and be like, let's hit the short, but look at the market. The market is busting out. So it looks like the long was right. And once again, Palantir stepped on. Like, it's my most negative stock today for a reason. Got to stay away from that one. What's up, Ms. V?
Sorry for the inconvenience. Our stream was down probably. So welcome back, everyone. I hope you're doing great, and remind you, please support the community, smash the like button, and have a great last 1 hour of this trading day. Back to you.
Thank you very much. You mentioned, I think it was one of your shorts that you just got kicked out of, and it's going to be the same thing for Block. There it is, the first time of the week that I said Block without saying Square first. I actually had an accidental long position. That's just because when I took that first leg out, I didn't adjust my stop order. But I'm just going to get out of it right away. Okay, fine, it makes a couple of pennies, but that doesn't mean it's the right decision to hold on to it. So that 124 is gone on Square. And the reason I just don't love the notion of the breakout, partly because the futures aren't breaking out, and that's still a key price level. I get it, it might work, but then like VIX, volatility just sort of came back toward those lows. It looked like it was going to break out. I don't want it bouncing off this and continuing the trend back up, and then you get a failed break, and I'm trapped long at the high. Obviously, the market looks like it wants to make that run, and Square is breaking that level. For me, it was enough to get out of the short and not fight it. Not going to hold on to that long. As much as it looked like it clearly would have worked out there, guys, on Square, I'm just going to get out. Pfizer, on the other hand, which is the other one that was at the top, I'm not saying it's, look, there's no way I can actually call this relatively weak. It's at the high of the day, but not really breaking back out. Like, you're seeing at least a little bit of a mild push as the futures look very, very strong here. So, I still think it's valid to short this one in that 48 level. I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive on the offer because it's curling right now. So I'm just going to get a little starter here off of 75s, although I would have liked more shares closer to this 47.90, maybe a little tighter to the high, because I felt like I had to let 48 break a little bit by a few cents. So I'll start a little bit smaller at 70s. I still think it's a view off or trace play. Of course, because it's after 3 o'clock and we're into power hour, Sean and I, when we're day trading, for those of you that are new, we're flat, no positions by the end of the day, which it puts a time constraint on. So I don't want to be holding on to it too long or averaging into it too close to like imbalances at 3:50 or 4 o'clock. So this is going to be a view off retracement. I don't think there's any home runs to be had with something this strong. I'm just looking to play the pullback here on Pfizer.
So right now, guys, we do appreciate everybody's help here on the chat as far as the show. I mean, we don't know what happened there, but we're back, and hopefully you guys are able to refresh the stream, and don't worry about what it says on the stream if you're watching us now. Unless we have the time machine, it still is March the 2nd.
If we had that.
Regardless of what it randomly says there on our YouTube stream, which was someone changed something, but it's okay. We're fine. We are changing a few things here, like I said, with the studio, so it's possible something happened there. All right, we did get blown out of our Palantir trade, but we are right now, okay, we're going to try it one more time. It's funny because normally, I am just a crazy bull, and I'm just going long on absolutely everything. And today, that would have been great. It's just I can never wrap my head around why this market wants to continue. Continue to go to the upside. So I don't know. When do you pick up the car? By the way, is it tonight? I meant to ask you. How
it's tonight.
Okay, good luck with that one. I don't know why that was on my mind, but okay.
Thanks for asking, though.
Yeah. Good. I hope.
After I
sneeze, hope it goes well. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with me. But okay. So PayPal. Look, we're going to take a piece out at 50 if it gets in, and then we'll go 106.40. That's not my out. Back down into here. We're testing this against 107 right here, the PayPal short. So that's what we're looking at right now. I feel like this name is the weakest name here that I could find. There's obviously weaker names, but just flat out names that haven't been performing well that I can't seem to think why it would go back up right now. So we'll short PayPal. And again, it's just a big move for them today. We've already double topped it right here, right now. So let's see if the double top works out for us on the 20-minute. I mean, PayPal was already up here to 106, 107, and then it goes up to 114. But right back in here is that 108 level. So we'll see. We're going to get out if, of course, now it just keeps continuing to go up. We're going to get out if it breaks out 107. Just trying to survive what seems to be a pretty nasty afternoon now, guys. So there we go. The stream now, apparently, thanks Maggie, should be all fine. So no more messing around there. I guess it was just a simple date change there.
Yeah, there you go. It managed to be fixed. I'll go over Vinco Ventures. Nothing, by the way, everyone asking what car, nothing crazy, man. I don't buy new. I've probably said I'm cheap before, but look, man, I always buy used. My first car that I bought as a trader is a bit of a story, so I won't get into it now. I'm sure we can tell it some point.
No, but I still can't believe you had that car for 18 years.
Right?
Or whatever it was.
I'm not a Beamer guy, and I wasn't going to buy it, but essentially, long story short, hopefully, a good friend of ours had a buddy who was whose dad was owned a dealership, and he had just bought this 03 325, and he saw something he liked better at the dealer auction the next month, and within one day, he needed the cash. So it was like, I need to sell this so I can buy this other thing that I like, and you can get the dealer auction price. And he's like, well, I know he found out I was in the market for a car, and he's like, you can get a really good deal on a Beamer. Forget about what you were going to look at before. You should do this. So he drove it by the office, the trading floor. I literally went down that afternoon, drove it. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I've had it forever. I don't need it because I have a family now, but I got to get to the station still. So I'm getting an A3. It's basically like a similar kind of vehicle, something small and fun for me to whip around in. So that's
used again, right? That's the
plan. Used again. I'm not really into buying new cars. Look, man, to each their own. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a hater in that regard. It's just that's how I am. So. Like I said, I'm a little bit cheap. I don't spend money on myself very often, but this will be a fun one. And Vinco Ventures has been asked about multiple times, so I will go over the chart here. I don't necessarily see a trade, so I'm not going to put anything on in Vinco Ventures. I think there was one spike up, this little move that you had at about 11:30 to make a bit of a run. Bull signs, you have a higher low and consolidation break that got put in, and you had a wipeout bottom. So it broke the low, that support, at the open, and then it sort of broke back out, which is always pretty bullish, right? So a lot of times, if you can hold that same support, your breakout was at 247, so I call it close enough to 250, give it a few pennies. You hold that support all afternoon, and you're forming a flag for a break, but you know what that break has? Overhead resistance, both at 285 and then at $3. So I think you're scalping that pretty much all the way. Is just as far as the chart goes. That's why I don't see anything terribly exciting. Your play in a situation like this is the bounce off of 250, like that initial breakout price. Can it then hold on a pullback? If it does, then you look to get into that long and you got yourself a nice winner. At this point, you've already missed that trade, so I'm not going to be hunting any Vinco Ventures. Maybe it's the start of something. I think it's a little bit more exciting. This stock can get back above $3, as you can see here. There's a little more runway if it makes a $3 break off this consolidation on the daily chart, but it could be the start of something. So it's worth keeping on your monitor list. If you're into the small caps and you like watching these for when they make the bigger break, then watching this consolidate hopefully and maybe make a $3 break. It's put moves to 4 pretty much every time it's bounced off that level, which is a little bit more exciting than what it's doing today.
Look, for every PayPal, or not PayPal, PaySafe that we have in our account, we have a Nucor too, right? So I just want to say today, wow, Nucor up 5%, taking out new highs here on NUE. And guys, like I'm in the money on this play, 45%. Excuse me. We're long here, down here at 95. A couple reloads. I don't see Austin anymore in the chat, but AMC is ripping. What's up, Niagara Charlie? I'll look at that in a minute. Damn you, AMC. I said maybe it would start tomorrow. Maybe it's starting right now. But yeah, long right here, and I'm just debating. I'm going to do some research tonight. I think yesterday I did watch some of the State of the Union there, and he was talking a little bit about Build Back Better. So we'll see here what's going on with that. But Nucor today up that 5%. Great steel company. I think it's the best name out there for that. There's also U.S. Steel, probably bussing the same levels to the upside. No, a little bit less. But
if you pull up the daily, and like I still have some U.S. Steel, I think it's more heavily shorted. They're a little bit more exposed to steel prices, and it's not as good a fundamental name, but it usually runs pretty well. But it's getting to a point like you got to trim some at 30. I'm actually going to put an offer in front to sell.
But that's what I was saying about Nucor, right? I was just thinking like it's up so high, I mean, it's really exploded.
They're a better stable dividend name, and it's a better run company. Like it's just U.S. Steel's more.
No, but I think it's just a technical thing. I mean, I think it's just like you're saying about U.S. Steel. Like honestly, I feel like when you're sort of portfolio managing, like Neil and I are talking about right now, it's like sometimes they just go up. It's the same reason why like I'm long AbbVie down here in the 70s. It's like you got to take some out when it's up here. And I actually took some out. I think it was 145 or something like that. Maybe it was a little bit. Maybe it was 148. But I took some out and I tweeted it out the other day. I was like, I got to raise some cash here. This name is huge. And I just feel like, I did take off some. You never take off all, but I feel like it's prudent to do that. And, I don't know. Just that's what I'm talking about. So, look, I'm pretty excited, man. There's only about 40 minutes now until hopefully we'll meet a couple of our trading friends from the trading universe here. Both Isaac and Mohammed are going to be coming through. They asked to come down, see if they could meet us. We'll see what kind of a mood I'm in. But they are going to, I'm just playing around. They will ring the closing bell. So that should be real fun. And hopefully they'll be coming on very soon.
That's actually, look, that's a first for us, right? So we're always doing new things, man. That's another reason why. Like if you don't enjoy fun, I don't know what it is, but like imagine a situation where a live trading show on a live floor and a couple of fans get to come here and ring the bell. So if you like it, hit that like and subscribe. I think it's well worth it. It's the best community out there. And I've been trading Indo every single day. Well, not every single day. Most. Right?
Endo or Indo?
Indo.
Oh, Indo.
I-N-D-O, Sean. I don't know what you're thinking about. And now you hit the key, of course. But anyways. But yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to this too much today after it sort of flushed in the pre-market. But hey, look at the breakout it just put on. Now there's a weird iceberg thing happening at 14 on this stock. And yeah, if it gets to 15 to 16 bucks, you got to watch out for that. But it is pretty primed. I mean, I don't know what caused that last little spike that we had, but this is what I mean at 14. It's pulled back a couple of times off that high. It's broken once and got to 1402. But that looks like if the volume can tick back up, you've got your top end breaker potentially here on INDO over in the Amex. Brendan?
We just tested session highs there on oil, which could help that IMPP. So back to 112.5 almost there on that last push up, 8% for crude at this point.
There's no stopping it, man. It's going to 120. Like, the best part about it is, look, when you do a show like this, you get the inevitable, like my dad asking me, sell some property, should I put money into crypto? And I'm like, I don't know, man, go on a nice trip. Like, what do you care if you miss Bitcoin to 100K at this point? Like, well, I'm just going to get it anyway, so I'll tell you to do it. But realistically, like, why would you? But, and then the other thing that I get asked all the time is like, oh my goodness, like, where are oil prices going? Because I'm going to pay so much at the pump. Like, are we screwed? I'm like, look, man, it's a bull run. Like, inflation's running rampant. I don't know where the top is going to be because I'm not an oil expert. I just know that the trend was fundamental to begin with without the Russia thing. Like, it didn't matter. It does matter what's going on there, but there haven't even been sanctions. It was brewing already, and this just put it over the top. And man, that strategic reserve meant absolutely nothing. It never has, so I don't think it's crazy to have said it. Maybe that's part of the reason, as Brendan said, that some of these names are breaking out here late in the day, those small cap, low float energy names. Miss V.
Hey Neil, we've got a super chat from AB saying market will go up more before the close. Tomorrow up more. Sorry guys if you're shorting market. I'm not market maker. Well guys, whatever my markets are go, I hope you're in the right position and will make profit. And I'm wearing green today, so I hope the market also will close green today. And while I'm here, guys, please smash that like button. We're just at 500 right now and we can do much better, right Neil?
I'm putting Valeria on blast for a second here, and I hope I'm not wrong about this, but I'm like 99.99% sure that this is absolutely 100% right. So I'm going to show you a chart of Tesla. I didn't trade Tesla today, but if you've watched the show, you know 880 to 885 has been a bit of a level. You know we talk about what kind of bottoms and tops. Sean? Wick off tops and bottoms. So here is yesterday in Tesla, and this is about 883 here. Wick top to 888. So what do you think happens at 830? It's the pop and fade, baby, and it's Tesla at $884. Can't get past 888, goes to 887. Now, Miss V, maybe you'll tell us where you got out, but I'm like 99.9% sure that's the short that you had up at the top. If I saw that wrong, then apologies.
Top, and I made like around $16 per money. So yeah, approximately like this. Great
Where's
trade.
my bang? Like that's just do one of these. That's a gorgeous trade. You guys saw that setup, right? And this is what trading's all about. It's about pattern recognition, not fighting the trends. There's a Superman. I was on the wrong page. I'm gonna
ask Tim or Lucas because we have the Valeria Batman.
Like that
should be on my board. Maybe we can get that on if you have that, Lucas. We don't have to do it now, but we do have Valeria Batman.
There you go. And of course, you don't trade your book either because Miss V, we all know, loves Tesla, and eventually I'm sure we'll be driving one. But sometimes the setup is to the short side. You can like the company all you want, man. Like at some point, I will be buying more shares of a firm. It's going to happen, man. I believe in the business for the long term. But when it's a short till it's not sometimes. You just got to be able to do it. When you're day trading or short-term trading, you got to make sure you have the right hat on. Sometimes you've just got to be able to put the other stuff aside, trade the setup, trade the plan, worry about the rest later. I can believe in the business, but I can see it. You can see a trend. I didn't see this one. I wish I had. Otherwise, I would have shorted Tesla myself. But good on you, V. And that bottom in 850 once again, it loosely held today, but I'd say it did well enough. The Powell bounce, of course, being the bigger story. And just because I like showing bad outs, so it didn't reverse into the long on Square. It ends up going to 125. It's pulled right back to that 124 level. So the market is still hanging out around the highs. I did get into Pfizer. I took first profit. I'll get the rest out in front of VWAP, and we'll send you guys to Brennan.
RSX, that Russian ETF, just popping back up again. It was a bit of a downtick there, but this thing was crazy in the morning, halted a couple of times, still 4% in negative territory. Some volume coming back in. It's been heavily traded once again today. It's worth noting, guys, the Russian market has already said they're not going to open again tomorrow for the third day in a row. So this RSX should be on watch again tomorrow.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's blocked, so you can't trade it. So you can watch it all you want, but I mean, for our broker, definitely double check it. So like Neil just called it up, I was like, you're not gonna be able to trade it, bro.
Yeah. But this happened before, because remember when oil went negative? Like, so when the oil futures went negative,
they blocked them.
Yeah, for risk purposes at a prop floor, like it's not worth somebody who has a bunch of buying power doing something crazy. So in that situation, I know it ended up getting blocked. That's a smart thing to do because the last thing you want is somebody like ruining a career or shutting down. No, but it's true, right? Like that was an unprecedented situation.
I mean, Tony in his fake account is holding something 1,000 shares, $10 against him.
What is it?
I don't know. What stock, Tony? CRTX.
Huh?
I don't know. Way to trade the good names, Tony. I don't know. I don't know what this guy's doing.
What are we talking
But I don't know. CR10. You can't know holding a $10. Oh, it must be 10,000 shares, $1 against him.
What?
I don't know what he's.
It's only moved like 35 cents on the day. Oh,
your
well, that's a different
personal
story.
account.
Oh, okay.
This is what happens when I'm not even involved in the conversation. I just hear it on the way back, and I'm like, oh, good job. I thought, oh yeah, well then that's different. I feel bad because honestly, that's the kind of crap that I thought he was holding it in our account. So
if you've
we're all holding bags.
If you've never held a bag, then you've never. You're not in the game. You've never been in the game.
One. I mean, I see what Tony's trying to do.
No, but
here.
this is what I'm saying. I look at it. I'm like, okay, fine. 130. You get the flush pattern at 55.
Yeah.
It makes a capitulation bottom at about $13. It tries to break back out. So you got that at 14. Like I totally see what you're trying to do there. I mean, I've seen that play
Tony.
before.
I like that. Tony's got stones, boy.
Because if it fills the gap, it's a double up to 30, right? Like it's one of those. I get it, man.
Yo, Tony retiring at a very young age, man. This guy is serious.
I don't even know how old he is.
Look, what about when that thing goes back to $120?
Forget about
Tony
30.
ain't selling on the way up. He's waiting for that home run.
YOLO.
This guy's a YOLO, man. We're going to be getting
trader.
some sick candies.
Oh, my goodness, I forgot Indo.
Yeah, okay, man. Never forget about the endo. Okay, so just a quick little update here on PYPL. You've been a friend of mine today because PayPal just continues to work out. We shorted off that top. We waited for the 107 to break. Thank God it didn't, or else then I would have been real upset because I'd be like, oh my God, we'd still be in this. But we are in it. It's a big position for me. We've averaged this in. We're waiting for 107 to break, which is why we're taking pieces out here. We're still in 30% of this name, as actually 40% of the name as it comes back in. Our best out is 45, which sucks. I want lower. Now I'm bidding 12s and I'm not taking anything less. So I'm scratch that. I'm going to change that order and bid 20s right into here. 12 is too. I just realized that's the very bottom there.
22.
So I'm going to bid, I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm bidding.
22.
I'm going to bid something in the 20s. But it doesn't matter. It's not going to go there. But we'll wait to see here. Hopefully it comes back down. It may or may not have been Kobe Bryant's number.
No,
Okay,
man,
so
22. The other day was the same thing. I couldn't get filled
worry.
at 21 on the stock, and I was like, put in 22, because growing up, my favorite player, that was not a Blue Jay, was Will Clark, man. Like, it's just, he was a beast. I loved him on the Giants.
I like Robin Yount.
He was great, another great player from the 80s and 90s there. But anyways, Will the Thrill Clark, 22.
Wade Boggs drank like a case of beer at the end of every game, by the way.
He would
and
have
was still
fried
a Gold Glove,
chicken.
like 10-time All-Star.
The story was that on a flight, he'd have a case of beer underneath his seat.
And just...
But when you got it like that, that's how he rolls, man.
Wade Boggs in the building. George
Can you tell how old we are?
George Brett, classic name. Use that pine tar best you can.
Yeah, but he crushed the Jays in the 85 series.
Yeah, I know, the KC, 85. We got screwed in 85.
We're old.
But George Bell, I love George Bell.
I was a Jesse Barfield guy.
Oh, you guys want that stank beat? Yeah, let's get that beat going right now. What's up to all you guys here? This is the beat. You hear that?
I didn't hear it.
Neither did I. I don't know. I guess it's not working. There we go.
Yeah, guys were like, I love the name.
I'm like,
I know.
I was like, I didn't hear it. I was just playing around. I didn't hear nothing there.
These guys are now throwing names out there. Kirby Puckett, love him. Will Clark, Lenny Dykstra.
Wade Boggs was third base.
Lenny Dykstra, I don't know, man.
Lenny Dykstra.
Didn't he go to jail?
The Blue Jays dealt with those guys. He had some problems there. Lenny Dykstra. We dealt with the Phillies and we dealt with the Braves.
But you know what it was? We liked the Phillies. They were they were a fun team to watch. Jays fans loved the Phillies when we faced them in the series. But the Braves, we didn't like the Braves. The Braves were that team that always they were too good.
John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine. I mean,
but the Phillies guys, they had everybody. Like you had
they had that sick
John Kruk, of course,
pitcher.
Dalton,
What was that guy's?
Mitch Williams.
Mitch Williams,
They were all likable
Wild,
dudes,
man.
They were just fun. Whereas the Braves were like, look at us, we win the division every single year.
Oh.
We don't like teams that are great like that. Anyways, Pfizer, just a quick update. Come on in front of 47 Ave. Oh. You have it. That's right.
Yeah, I have the Blue Jays troll. This is the official Blue Jays troll. Still in. You want to talk about NFTs,
oh my God,
bros? This is still in its package from '92 World Series right here. Trolls '92. It shows everything what we dealt with Oakland and Atlanta in '92. Official trolls. you know, that's what that is. But
beat Ricky, then he had to join us in 93.
Let's move on from that. Shout out to Dave Winfield and Paul.
By the way, while that happened, I keep saying Indo because remember that 14 break? Okay, so yeah, we're having some fun here, but that's fine. I did miss that break on Indo. So congratulations, anyone that was watching the stock. It was you guys that brought it up, so you guys should have had it anyways. Like I wasn't even looking at this thing until people were saying it in the chat. It broke 14. There's a bit of a move to the upside. If you're looking for that upward cover, a couple of days ago, I guess end of the month there, that 15 level was a harsh rejection, and you saw what happened when it gets anywhere near to 20. I'm not saying it's going to halt or not going to halt, but you are running out of time on the end of the day. And I said a few times that you probably didn't hear it. On Pfizer, it's starting to roll back over, so we did ring the register in front of 47.50. Look, I want to be all out. I'll go back to the 1 minute because that's where I care about VWAP. Yeah, I'm just sort of looking back to VWAP here. If I can get that, fantastic. IMPP looks like it's going to go. I'm out of almost everything that we had to the short side. It was a VWAP retrace. I tried to hold some more just in case it broke 2 and completely flushed, but it feels like it wants to take the top off. And there's no fighting this one. There's no averaging into it. If it takes out the high, I just want to be out. I don't need this making another one of those runs, right? It has room to 250 if it were to go. I actually was long the stock in the morning thinking it was going to go to 250, so no need to get stubborn with the short.
Yeah, and I'm doing it again. I'm going to take another piece of PayPal out here at 50 if we can get it. I mean, it's just bouncing around the 50 period again. If we can get this 52, we'll take it on PayPal, and then we'll hold half. That's it. I mean, I just saw Squanchy up there, and I know there's talk about his name. Yeah,
Squanchy, no squanching.
Yeah, exactly. That he's taking 50 cents at a time on this thing, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I mean, I have the capabilities of doing that pretty easily. It's actually my specialty. So let's just stick with what we're doing best here and just scalp out some of PayPal because honestly, man, I don't know what this market wants to do. And I have no idea. Maybe, Brendan, if you have a financial juice or something there, I don't know if there's anything on the imbalance right now, but I'm not too worried about it, actually. The market's not doing anything, so I think it's a bright idea maybe to get out. SoFi back down to 1167. Ugh, yuck, SoFi. We'll look at that when we get back from Brendo.
Not yet. It's usually around 3:30 we start to get those early looks, anyways, on imbalances. The Sky H, you mentioned it right at the beginning of the show at 2 o'clock, was all the way up here, 21. Came back to 16 there. More sell volume to be expected, I guess, but volume alert there again for that SKYH, guys.
Yeah, that stock is, look, we always say this, and it's worth saying every single time when you get one of those runners, pay yourself. Take some profit. Like, take 50%, 70%, whatever. Once you pay yourself when you're playing with house money, then it's a little bit easier to hold out. Not every stock is going to GME, AMC, DWAC that one day. My goodness, right? Like, that's pretty rare. Like, sometimes getting a 15 break or like this 1750 break, bag 10 to 15% in a matter of minutes. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Like, that's a day for most traders. Like, that's a great move. Take it and run because they can pull the rug pretty quickly. And you know what? These down halts, like, who knows? Maybe it halts down and then it doesn't open up for a half an hour. And then it opens up and gives everything back, and you can never capture your profit. That's what the risk is when you hold on to some of these. Man, INDO, it's right to that 15 level.
It's ripping. It's going to be. It's taking out. Like this INDO is
nuts.
This
is crazy. Like,
by the way, we get our PayPal, so we'll go. Yeah, hot dogs on that one. INDO, is it an Amex stock? Because I just typed it in. Okay. All right, so we'll switch over to Amex now and check out INDO. As we are taking out, it's 50. It's day high right now. $15 getting taken out right now. I still keep looking over my shoulder thinking that Isaac and Mohammed are going to be in the building at some point. Hopefully they are.
Brandon and Luca.
Yeah, they're over there trading. But here goes INDO right now, trying to break out through 15. So looks like that previous high, 15.23. Obviously, we have a high wick there of 19. I don't think that happened. It's more like these are the real highs right now. 15.23. I don't think we went to 19 that day. I don't see it on Eastern.
I'm pretty sure. I thought it did. I mean, but I could be wrong about that. I didn't trade that level, but that day I thought it was real. I'm gonna check to see what the locates cost, but with only 30 minutes to go, I don't know how much I'm gonna love it. It would have to be pretty cheap to bother paying for it right now, obviously, because you're running out of time for it to be a home run trade. Like, even if it reverses off 15, are you gonna get a VWAP retrace with 30 minutes left? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think you'd be happy if you can get something back to 14.20. So I'm going to double check. I'm out of pure curiosity. I want to know how they are. Because if it's 1 cent, I'm just going to go ahead and grab them. Like you said, first time we're going to have viewers ringing the bell. So if you're a fan of the show and you're around, guess what is an opportunity for you, right? And I got to come back over to block, because this was a name that 124 level was key. If the market's going to break out from here, guess what? It now held that resistance at 124. That resistance at 124 and turn it into potential support. So if this is going to run, you have a clean 125 break with support $1 below in what could be the market taking out highs. Yeah, I'm not paying 17 cents a share on INDO when it's this strong. It would have to do something ridiculous for it to be worth that with 30 minutes left.
Yeah, and I almost punched our ticket here on SoFi. Oh, man, it's just down here at 1160. Like, this might be the bottom right here. Like, forget about this bottom that happened. Like, that was just capitulation down here. Once it broke through this 1150 or came down to 1150, someone wanted to test it. They did. Not much volume, just a lot of sell sides volume here. So that's what I mean by just somebody with big sale here hit this, and it was enough to get me out of that. But you could see now it's trying. It just took out the 50 period, but to me, that 50 period's kind of irrelevant because we've just been dancing around here. It's kind of like what I look at now with PayPal trying to go break up to the upside right now. It's like, you know, we need to get something with some momentum, but I just wanted to check back on this because SoFi, just we'll see if there's any key levels. I feel like it's done it has done 134 million shares today. So it's like, it should be looking at this right now for a mover into the close. But for right now, man, 1165 is just on the bid. So we'll wait to see if that comes back into play that. I'm debating a Palantir short, but I told you I wouldn't look at it, so I'm not going to. And then I'm going to be really upset if it goes down. Let's just check out banks, man. I mean, JP Morgan has been a pretty rough ride here the last little while. We'll go over to Brennan. We'll come back.
Yeah, nice bounce back for financial stocks right across the board today. Another energy name just popping back up at session highs, or close to it anyways, for Bohr. We mentioned in the pre-market a little drilling name back to the upside. I mean, crude has done nothing but go straight up since the electronic session wrapped up for the day. We're back to 112.30, guys, on crude oil.
Yes, sir. And Michael Oliveira, hello to you, too. There was a question in the chat over and over again about locates, and I just put the answer of how it works for Day Trade the World, where you pay for the locates, and then you had that amount of shares for the entire day. You can use, if you pay for 1,000 shares short, you can go short 1,000 shares as many times as you want, but never for more than that, and it comes right off your P&L. Every broker is different with how they work, so I'm just letting you know, like, we get a quote, I can accept it or not. Once I pay for it, that's it. That's a sunk cost. You don't have to go short, but you're going to pay that no matter what. Nordstrom's rightfully pointed out there, coming back to these highs. I did try the fade. I think some people were talking in the chat during the midday show or with Trader Prad there and Ms. V. I was in that as well. It looked good for a little bit, and then it took out the high. I never got back into it, but it's now retesting close to that 27.50, which is kind of what I was looking for. Like, I wanted to see it have to retest that high. It's a little bit late in the day, but one little push and a rejection of 50s, and I jump into the short. And Hyper Viper, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but thank you for the super chat. We appreciate them all for sure. So I thank you for that.
Oh, I didn't even look. Yeah, thanks, Hyper Viper. Maybe Valeria can address that in a second. I don't know, like, honestly, like, I'm switching over to PayPal. Like, my chart is still saying JPM and it's not moving. So let's hit this again. There it is. Okay. So, okay, we're reloaded. We'll see if we can get the carnival trade here with PayPal. Bang. Especially if this does come to the downside. We just took it right there at 85 and got some out at 75. Just quickly, that was like literally 1 second. We got 10% out of that trade there, but it's an averaged price. So right now, PayPal, as you guys can see and probably understand, where my out's going to be 107. It can't get any easier than that for me. So if this market wants to come down, which would be really nice if it did that, then we'll just start to sort of do what we were talking about there, Squanch, and that is just get in and out as much as we can of this name for now, and then just at the end of the day, close our eyes and open them and hope we have some cash there in our P&L. But we're not, today's going to be a positive day for us, so it's all good. But again, just a little frustrating here trying to trade this PayPal. Let's go over to DraftKings quickly here. It's 3:30 now, so pretty excited again to meet some of our viewers coming through. DraftKings today, It was. We went back and forth with Brendan. I mean, bookings.com got an upgrade. And then I'm pretty sure, I mean, CNBC had something this morning about Morgan Stanley having DraftKings as their best idea. But so we'll wait to see here on that one in the gaming. Apparently, there's an investor day coming up for DraftKings. So I think that's going to be obviously some kind of a rally opportunity, opportunity for them. Yeah,
this is it, right?
That's what I sent to Brendan, but he wasn't able to find it. So
it was something from San Antonio. Who knows?
Anyways, it doesn't really matter.
It's
just more the fact that we are now, and I want to bring this to everyone's attention, we are now breaking above the 50-period moving average. So that's something there for this name, DraftKings. You know, we've been kind of not trash talking it, but, you know, just I haven't liked the name. And right now, maybe it's going to start to work. Someone at Morgan Stanley obviously has done a little more due diligence than I have. Or are they just trying to get out of their longs? So you got to think about that sometimes. We'll see here.
They are in trouble for some things.
Taking out the 50 period right now. So we'll see. DraftKings looks like it wants to work. And there, of course, goes PayPal to the upside. So we tried it. Look at the market breaking here now as well. Market breaking upside. You just got to find some longs.
Like this is the second time that I've gotten into a short. Like as we're talking about the market breaking. Well, okay. Well, when you're shorting off the highs, a lot of times you're going to get in when another move up happens because it ticks up. So Nordstrom's, it was in a consolidation. I just grabbed it here at 19. It just broke in 27.20. So I got on the 19th and just got that fill. I'm only giving it to the high of the day, and it's just a similar retrace as Pfizer. But with the market breaking up here and it being 15 minutes from the imbalances, I'm not sure we'll be in this one terribly long, but I like the risk to reward. So far, so good on Pfizer, but Nordstrom's is a bit of a different story. Being up 39% on the day, having the short interest, all of those things. I mean, you do not want to miss your stop when you're trading in Nordstrom's. And I had this one to the short side and lost this morning. I had a long, which was okay. The 26.50 break. Maybe there was never a reason. You know what? Now that I look at this, I'm not sure there was ever a reason to get out of that 26.50 break. You look back and it's like that just held 26.50. You know what? I'm getting out of this. So anyways, I'm going to get out of that short because why am I playing this? If I'm telling myself that this top end break, we stop out in the short and then we look for the double top break and then it just held that same level that we liked the breakout. If I liked it for that break, and if you look at on the daily chart, you're holding above previous resistance. You're sort of in the midst of a multi-day breakout as well. On any time frame you want to look at, that looks pretty gorgeous. And also you're above and breaking back above the afternoon or the post-market high on the earnings. It's got the squeeze potential. Yeah, what am I doing? I probably should never have gotten out of that long position, which is what happens when you like shorting at the top. You start thinking for reasons to get out of the long because you see short setups. But that looks pretty good. Like I don't know why I wouldn't have been reloading here. You could have been reloading here, getting some out at 27.50. So yeah, that was dumb. Realistically, you should have been long this pretty much ever since the moment it made that breakout and no reason to get out. And this is fine. Like if the short ends up working out, fair enough. But the way I look at it is if I see a situation like this and it's that strong, I don't love the risk to reward. And it only has 10 minutes to work out for me anyway, so there's no point being stubborn about it. And INDO, guess what? If I pay for those locates, and then I guess I'd be in this rejection at 15. That's the level that we thought it could turn around at. And it looks like it's trying to do that here. So Indo making that turn. The 14 break was gorgeous. We were talking about baseball when it happened. So, oh well. Brendan?
A little low float, although it doesn't actually say what the float is on here. But it's a former SPAC, AI software maker here, BBAI, on a bit of a run. Heading into the close here, guys. Huge volume came in through 6. And really hasn't stopped through 2.7 for BBAI.
Yes, sir. BBAI.
Is that what it was?
You're looking for anything that's, at this point, oh my goodness. I just always make the assumption, if you're doing this long enough, for those of you who've been trading long enough, it used to be that everything on the NASDAQ had 4 letters and everything on the New York had 3. That hasn't been true for a very long time. So anyone that still has that habit, you can tell how long they've been trading because you only do make that mistake if you've been trading for over a decade. But yeah, we're old. BBAI, like we look for these breaks, but you never want to chase the move, especially when you get to these sort of pivot areas here. Like you can see like on the daily, like 675 into about 725. It's hard to peg it exactly, but that puts $7 right in the middle. It gives it a bit of a range here on the daily chart to pull back when it goes parabolic because everyone's just looking like, where is it going to turn? Where is everyone going to take profit? Where do they put trailing stops in? Where are they going to put their profit targets at? And those obvious levels, that's what comes into play. In a liquidity vacuum, that's basically what it is. Like everyone's sort of guessing at where the turn is going to be, and they want to start selling in front of it to make sure they lock in their profit. And short sellers are thinking the same thing. So you get those two things together, and you have a stock make a pullback. That's essentially what you're working with. So if you're long, put yourself in the mind of, if I was flat, where would I want to short it? If I was holding a bag, where would I want to be trying to get out of it on a longer time frame? And also try to lock in profit in those regards so that you don't end up holding a bag like this. But obviously a good runner here. Indo continues to pull back, obviously. And IMPP, I said it was inevitable that it was going to take out the top. It still hasn't done so. Either way, I'm going to move my bid and just get in front of VWAP because it's not going to break down at this point. So $2 is probably the best we'll be able to get. I am monitoring a bid here of 150,000 shares on 209, like sitting right up here. 150K into 80 million on the day isn't a ton, but it has been holding it up for a little bit. If it breaks, hopefully we can get out in front of VWAP, but this looks pretty strong. Gonna have to watch out for a breakout on this tomorrow. So I did try the long initially, but I wasn't willing to do it till it broke out. Maybe the dip buy can be in play as strong as this has looked today.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to call up CRM, but I didn't realize how much of a bounce this made. I mean, it made that bottom of $200 and then just straight up back to 211, up that 1%. I believe CRM, I know Neil made this at one of the calls to buy. I think that's a great call. So CRM back to the upside now, back up 1%. So good look on that one as we go. It looks like the market's trying to come back down to the downside. I think it was, what was it? The early mock imbalance was 200 million to sell, so we'll see if that holds out. And I did want to give a big shout out before it disappears here to Hyper Viper. I guess you want to talk a little bit maybe about Ford. That's what I see, an F there. So I don't know anything about what else you wrote there, Hyper Viper. But yeah, Ford was a great call for me today. I mean, Ford's one of my top stocks in this order net-wise. It's going to be AMD, Rivian, then Ford, it looks like, net-wise. Yeah, and then AMC, Microsoft. As I look, what's my other one there? That's it. SoFi is red, but that's it. Okay. PayPal we just took as well. Okay, so a Ford upside right now. I don't know. I mean, forget about these wicks. We chart everything here. I don't know. It's breaking back down a little bit here through this level of the 50 period. So maybe there is a trade coming back in, but Ford up that 9% today. I don't know if this is a name that you want to short heading into the imbalances. There might be some buy imbalances coming into a name that's up 9%. I know that seems the other way around, but could be the case there where people are just short and they're just going to take the closing print. So we'll see if that's, now it's going upside again, 819 here for Ford. So that could be one that does wind up working. We talked about the banks a little bit and then my chart didn't load. I want to talk a little bit about JP Morgan, but I think WFC is the name that we traded yesterday, was a pretty profitable name for us for sure. But here you go, WFC down to $50 here today and a nice move back to 52.50. So WFC is one of those names that we are looking at here. The daily chart doesn't look like anything because of that, but WFC, a nice bottom at 50. We want to make sure that we see that tomorrow. But right now, maybe 52.50 for a short. We've got to see what this market is doing. Banks, well done today, Banks, man. Up 4%. So thank God for that one because they were bleeding pretty bad there.
Jerome, man, like when the market turned, that got them off the hump there. And I'll shout out Sam there saying that he actually remembers trading fractions instead of decimals. So, hey, you win. Like we probably just missed that by a few years, but well, maybe more than a couple. But yeah, like, those are wild times for day traders back in the day. I've heard some of those stories from guys that were around at that time. I never got to trade when it was fractional, but imagine forgetting what having to take scalp when you're not scalping a penny, like you were getting like an eighth, which is like 12 and a half cents. Like that's each tick was a big move, and that's what made it so incredible at that time. That's what launched day trading originally, which is pretty cool. Brendo, what's up, bud?
Maybe one to put on your list for tomorrow, guys. First Solar, FSLR, just taking out that high. Tagged it a couple of times right out of the gate, and then going back an hour or so ago. So big volume came in there. Trying to get back to the upside after earnings for First Solar.
Yeah,
oh man, what a recovery!
Plug Power. One name that our fans are always asking us about, and someone for sure today was mentioning XL Fleet. And I'm going to give you a shout out if you put your name in here, because I'll recognize who it is once I see it. But you have been talking about XL Fleet for a while, man. The last couple of days, anyways, being down here. I was an investor in XL Fleet, and I got out on one of these pop-ups here. No, it wasn't even, I think it was it this one? I don't know. One day XL Fleet popped up, and it was in the $3 or $4 area. I think it might have been this day right here. Yeah, 403, something like that. It popped, yeah, $3 up to 403. I don't know, but we got out of XL. It's just been really got killed the last little while, maybe a 227 or so break on XL Fleet. But congratulations, whoever that was. Someone was definitely talking about XL Fleet. So shout out to you. Hopefully you're watching. If not, there, I gave you the shout out anyways. All right, so AMC again. I see you, Niagara Charlie. You were hollering at me earlier today and during the show. Yeah, it did make a little bit of a move back up here to 18 and change, but at the same time, it's still kind of flat. I like the move. There's no doubt about that. You could see higher lows being made. And like I said, maybe tomorrow's the day that we go ham on this name. So let's check out XL Fleet and see what that does tomorrow. That's a name, AMC is a name that we'll look at, looking to take out this like 1860. We'll see if it can do that. It might do that here at the end of the day. And if it does, let's try it. 1860. We're going to try a long if it breaks that. So it's actually 1862. Let's see if we break 1862. I will punch a long here on AMC for momentum to go the rest of the day. So that's going to be a trade that I'm looking at here on AMC. Break this long to the upside.
Yeah, what a breakout by First Solar, first of all. It got crushed, but obviously a nice recovery. A couple of things in the chat, some fun ones here. Chris W. saying first stock was WorldCom. Now, I was pretty sure about this because I know you started around and traded WorldCom. I didn't get to, but I know you got that, so that's pretty cool, Chris. And someone asking, do we post the earnings graphic for the day anywhere? And
for the day?
For the day. Like we do the earnings, and obviously we're going to do it in a few minutes here, right. Showing upcoming earnings. Yeah, well, maybe we should be.
We do have a new website launching soon, and I think we should put that in a tab. Why not do that? I mean, you know, yeah, we might as well do that. That's a great idea. So thank you for that, whoever that was. Thank you. That was a good.
Juno Franco.
What's up, Juno Franco? That's a great idea. We'll do that, and we will come up with the earnings board in just a couple minutes anyways for you guys. So that's what we're going to be doing. Wow, that XLE of mine still pumping, obviously, as oil's up that 8.2% right now. Facebook trying to take out highs again, or is taking out highs. What am I talking about? 209 right now on Facebook. Looking at highs, taking these out as we go. Wow, it's just... how many days am I going to sit here and try to find shorts in the afternoon and just not believing that this is what's happening? It's really, I'm really starting to get like frustrated with myself because so many opportunities to go long, and it's just like every afternoon I just believe in the short. That's why, man, like I absolutely crushing the morning, and then the afternoon it's like I'm trying to find some trades. But wow, Goldman Sachs up 2.7%. That's nice as well. Apple, I'm just looking up here because that's where my scanners are. Apple just broke 167. Oh man, there's just everything's going. I don't I don't have a trade right now. I mean, that Rivian short still printing. Wow, Rivian still making moves to the downside. Look at that 54.50. Like can't see everything, but that's another good trade right there. 54.50 on Rivian. So man.
The only thing is, the futures are strong, but they're not, like, there's names breaking the highs, but the NASDAQ still hasn't taken that top. The VIX is kind of sitting in the middle of the range at the bottom. At least we're fortunate, it's unfortunate that Pfizer, while I have to get out in the next couple of minutes, it's managed not to break back out. So, look, we have imbalances coming in about 3 minutes or so, so I do need to get out of this if it goes any higher. But this will be pretty much break even, so if we break 70s, I'll get out of it. I'm getting out anyways in front of 350 because Pfizer is a name that has been known to have some imbalances and no reason to hold through that 350 mark. As we send you over to Miss V.
Hey Neil, our viewers Isaac and Mohammed came to Toronto and stopped by TraderTV Live office to say hi to all the team and see our trading floor. And they brought us a gift, actually, very beautiful Scotch whiskey, Little Bay. Thank you so much, guys. And great news, Isaac and Mohammed will be ringing the closing bell today. So please stay tuned, and very nice to meet all of you guys.
I think I saw O-Band there, and first of all, I want to say thank you. Like, that's just, it's too nice of you guys. Like, you didn't have to do that. Appreciate it. We were just at Rodney's, like, yesterday, the group of us, like, getting oysters, and literally that scotch, a buddy of mine that I go all the time with, that's the scotch that we have before we go to Rodney's. So, like, just a bit of a twist. Thank you guys so much, and we love that, and we appreciate it. And you're the first to get to ring the bell, which is amazing, to actually have viewers come in, ring the bell. This is the cool thing about doing it. Remember when we first talked about having a live bell? It's like, is it corny? Is it going to be fun? And it's turned into something which is hilarious almost every single day. Yeah. We have a lot of fun with it. So That's the idea of the show.
I mean, let's not put too much expectation on these guys.
No,
I mean,
let's
they're not Tony the Tiger. They're not, yeah, they can do whatever they want. But yeah, we're really happy to have them come through. And thanks, that's amazing. I'll just take the bottle, okay? Let's just forget about it. I'll just take it.
It's one of those.
There's only one. Yeah, I'll just take it. And we don't have to argue about it. I'll just take it. But
maybe Prad shouldn't have it.
We'll just keep it here. You know what? We'll start.
I thought your stomach was off, Prad. Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Yo, leave Pratt alone. Okay, so right now, no, you know what? We'll keep that here. We'll do another one of those eggnog days. We'll celebrate something. Someone said, did the Toronto floor ever make $1 million? I mean, look, how much money a Toronto floor or any floor makes is really just how many traders do you have?
Yeah.
What's kind of the risk tolerance of those traders? I'm going to say no to the million. You can't. It's almost honestly $1 million. One day.
Has there been a Toronto trader in 1 day $1 million?
No, it's too much.
No.
It's too much. Like even if you make $100,000 as one trader in 1 day, that's a great day. I'm just saying, like, a lot of things have to work out properly for that to happen. But again,
like there are individual trades that I can.
Here goes AMC. Maybe.
Like I can go back and think of moves on stocks where it's like, okay, like if this trader did this on that day, like maybe because of their buying power, but like $1 million's like a big hit, like hundreds of thousands, sure, but it's rare that you'll see that, especially with the risk controls that you have. Like there's certain shots that you can and can't take because you're trading the firm's money. So like there's always parameters in place there. Yeah, I mean 6 figures, yeah, but $1 million trader, there's never really been one in a single day. Like I said, if 70 goes on that, imbalance is coming out, so I got to get out of this Pfizer.
Okay, so we're long AMC right now. Adam Aaron apparently on CNBC. Never heard of that station, but someone's mentioning it there. With only 10 seconds to go, here we go. We are long AMC. Let's see what comes out now into the imbalances with 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. The imbalances are out, and it looks like we're going to the upside a little bit here in the market, but it looks like a nothing burger for us. Let's see what's on here. Apple, what? A $2.1 million, 2.1 share sell side. That seems to be pretty big. Bank of America's nice to have a buy here. Square's a bid. Let's see what that's doing. Not much. And that's about it. AMD with a sell. So, you have NASDAQ probably with a sell side here. Apple sell side, AMD sell side, but Mr. Softy buy side. So a little bit of a mix, but there it goes. Down goes the market.
Of course, Pfizer. I just punched out of Pfizer. And it's a 1.1 million sell, and I punched out of the short. But again, like the plan was to get out in front of the imbalances. You always do. It's a coin flip. And it was so super strong today. You had Biden talking about eliminating cancer, and it's like, Pfizer, they got some big treatments for it. I think short term, that's going to be good for them, reflected in the stock price today. I didn't think it was the time to bet. It was going to be a short going into the close. Market at that top. NASDAQ looking like it wants to get to 2K. Looks like it'll be exciting. We got Isaac and Mohammed bringing a scotch, enjoying the day.
They're ready to go.
And they're going to be ringing the bell in about 8 or 9 minutes here. But looks like, for the most part, the market does not take out the highs. Overall, I want to say mixed imbalances. It's not overwhelming in either direction.
Yeah, AMC did hit 1865, so we went long on AMC, but I wasn't sitting here at 1865 to get out. And again, we'll just see. We are long this one. I don't even have offers at 65. I have them a little bit higher than that. Let's see if we can get printed up there. Let's see if AMC wants to run into the close. Obviously, the close is here right now. And if you're joining us for the first time, both Neil and myself unable to hold anything past 4 o'clock. So, we do have limitations here at Day Trade the World. Okay, AMC, this is not bad. Maybe we get a little bit of a winner here, up to 66. Let's take a piece out, but go over to Brendan quickly.
Ended up on the buy side there, guys. 725 million or so to buy. This was one that popped up there on the imbalance as well. CISO. We talked about that a little bit this morning, but a nice pop through 5 there. But buy side to wrap up the day, even with some big sells.
We're just asking if we did the earnings board. We will do that near the close, so watch out for that.
Best Buy high of the day.
And then, Best Buy reporting tomorrow. Do you guys remember that I mentioned Best Buy the other day, and I said the PE was only 9 or something on Best Buy, and it has been a nice little move, if I can show it to you, to the upside since we made that call. That was just a couple days ago, and you could see now Best Buy was like $94 up to 101 right now, but that's okay because who cares about Best Buy when you have the best stock in the world? I just said that for you apes. I have no idea where AMC is going to go. And like I said, I don't hold AMC, but we'll take the money. We'll take the money. AMC's been a big stock for me today. We had that bottom tick right there, and now you're starting to go back up to the upside. There's the 68. So I did take some 66s. We just took some 68s. Now my offer's at 80. But you know what, man? We might as well just take the cash and run now. With only 4 minutes, actually, with only 7 minutes to go, we'll go back over to Brendan.
Yeah, absolutely. A few minutes to go here, guys. Let's get you officially caught up on what's to come tonight. And before the open tomorrow, I double-checked. Best Buy is actually before the market opens tomorrow. Nevertheless, we'll talk about it in the morning, guys. Here comes earnings.
All right. Yeah, so BJ's Wholesale, I think that's why people were talking about that.
C3AI.
Yeah, that's been a beat-down name. That might be something you might want to take a shot on for one of those iron condors there. Shout out to Daniel Shea.
I mean, this is going to move 15-20%.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, AI is definitely going to move. Other than that, I don't see that much on there, man. I mean, we've talked about this a little bit here and there. I mean, there's Snowflake that's on there. I don't really see anything.
I mean, I care about TD Bank. I mean, Canadian bank,
yeah,
so.
But they'll be fine.
Well, it's not going to matter. When you hold a bank, you tend to not care quarter to quarter.
That's funny. I didn't see that C3AI earlier, but I don't know that logo.
I swear it wasn't there.
Nah, it was probably there. It's because it says C3AI. Yeah. I think that's why. Like we didn't notice it.
And then ChargePoint, because some of those alternative energy names have been making some big moves the last little bit. So I think they're going to be worth watching. But yeah, C3AI is going to go on the radar. We'll throw it on the iPad to make sure that we look at it. But I'm expecting some fireworks there. Into the close, Best Buy was the one that we were just showing. Yeah, breaking out here and getting to some obvious resistance in the chart. So it's at some big levels. That's maybe why it checked up while the market was booming. Super strong day for it, 4.5% to the upside. But you saw in the daily, running into resistance while the market is at a top. Not likely to break out this late with only 5 minutes to go here. It's been a fun one, man. Certainly having some exciting. I don't hold, Bradley, I don't hold shares of Snowflake. Have you ever owned Snowflake?
Yeah, I own Snowflake at 245 or something. What's it at right now?
You know what? I just saw the question. I hadn't even looked it up.
And by the way, on a side note, I see Brendan has the booze in his hand. So let's go over to Brendan. What's up, Brendo?
It's in my hand. It will stay in my hand for the time being. I am very pleased and so happy to introduce to everyone Isaac and Mohammed, viewers for how long?
A year?
Yeah, about a year now.
Yeah. How did you get caught on to the show?
Actually, just came across it on YouTube.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Great stuff. What's your favorite part of Trader TV Live?
I think the best food of the day.
Miss B's segment at the end. Yes. Guys, we're so happy to have both Isaac and Mohammed here with us to ring the bell coming up in a few minutes. And I mean, from me personally and from these guys over there, thank you so much for the gift. Very, very generous, guys. Stay tuned, couple minutes. These guys are going to ring the bell.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. Appreciate it very much.
Amazing.
Yeah. With
Great to have you.
Daily watches.
Great to have you, guys.
It's fun just having people on the floor, man. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
Get the energy going. Like and again, like I know you guys see the screens behind us, and we've talked about it. We are hiring. Like we're finally trying to get
but wait
back
a minute,
to normal.
So I don't know. Was that Isaac or Mohammed there? The favorite part of the day was the food.
It's not always.
I feel like I'm not doing my
and
job.
By the way, the national day is not always food. It can be anything else.
I don't know. I have a weird answer.
But look, we have a lot of things that are fun with the show, so it's a tradition.
They brought scotch.
But the thing about it is, if you watch all the time, it's a tradition, which is cool. Like
for sure.
You get to be part of something, so we do it every single day. Today was like a banana cream pie?
Yes, it was.
When it's food, I always remember it because it's like, then I want to eat that.
Yep.
Anyways, we had ham for lunch today, and like you talked about it because it was like Dijonnaise, right? I'm not a mayo guy, so the sauce was no good for me. But the mustard was okay. We had like the fridge stuff, so I just put it on.
Okay, so just because there's only 3 minutes left, we are out of AMC for flat. So unfortunately, Ape Nation didn't do anything to this stock once it took out the day's high. We thought there was a chance for it to go. So it's a flat trade all in all. It's probably even a winner. We have 60s long. Our best out is 68, I believe. Some 66s, 65, 64, and then we just dumped it out at 55. So now it's coming. That's the 55 print right there. Maybe it was 56. No, it was 55. Whoops. There we go. We went short by accident there. Oh, Oh man, what am I even doing? That was my out initially there. So let's just put it on the bid and get out now if we can of AMC. But we don't mean to be short this name, but that was just an accident there. So we'll wait to get out. But with only 3 minutes to go, it's been a good one and pretty happy today. Not a great afternoon for me. We had that PayPal short, which right now is probably printing. Yeah, now it's printing, of course, but we got out there at 107, but still a good trade for me on PayPal. A lot of shorts in there, and then that last try was at 84, and then there's the out at 1702. So 16-cent hit, but you guys saw me scalp that. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. It's just not the big winner that I was sort of hoping for.
Bill McCracken likes the trade of the day is the best part of the show. We love going over trades. So, it's a fun thing. Traders like to talk shop, and so when you're just talking levels and talking trades, it's fun. I think it's Kai. How did IMPP work out? Well, I got out in front of imbalances. It touched the high of the day and fell to VWAP, which is my target. So the short worked, but I didn't get exactly what we wanted because I wasn't willing to hold it till right now with 1 minute to go. But that 217 top, it cannot break that high. That sets it up with a great level to play off of in either direction tomorrow. So IMPP is going to be on my radar almost regardless, guys.
I just can't. I'm saying, I can't believe that now finally the market's crashing. Not even crashing, but just starting to head back down with only a minute to go now. Wow, that's pretty frustrating. Get ready, boys, on the bell because we are doing our very first ever guest viewer of the day bell ringing. So, okay, it's a tongue twister, but we're getting ready to rock and roll with only a minute to go there. But it's been a good day, man. Thank you so much for all the love and the support that we continue to get from you guys, and it means a lot to us. We're trying to put on the best show possible, and I think we do that every single day. So thank you once again for watching, and I've talked a lot today, and I have to hit some more water. And I saw that you got
shout out to Greg
as well today.
Because I actually forgot my water, which is, believe me, we talk as much as we do, you've got to stay hydrated, you have to get some coffee as well. But I forgot mine. Greg brought it when you didn't even see.
What's funny is that yesterday at the bar, buddy. And I'll quickly go here, Prad said that he was exhausted from the show, but, we speak, all day, and Prad does too now. So it's just one of those things. All right, let's go. With only 20 seconds to go here. We're really excited. Let's go, guys. We might as well do it. Let's hit that countdown, Neil, and we'll start to go with the...
Get him on camera.
There we go.
There it is. Isaac and Mohammed, viewers, we love you.
With only 6,
5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it.
Oh, yeah. There we go. They're rocking and rolling. Oh, yeah. We like that. We like the music.
My first question is, did you bring the drumsticks yourself? Are those ours? That's what I'm talking about. Prepared.
We're all about props.
Prepared with the props. You play, obviously, right?
Ooh,
that's fantastic.
Nice. Very nice.
Oh, my daughter better not.
Very nice.
I hope my daughter doesn't hear that because my brother, we just visited in Christmas, they just got a drum set and she was loving it. But I don't know if I want a drum set in the house because it's loud.
You do not.
I don't think I want one. But
you do not want a drum set. I almost murdered my brother-in-law when he got us this electronic thing that you could. It's one of those pianos from Big.
I know.
Where Tom Hanks runs on them, and all of a sudden we hooked it up, and my kids were just like, ring, 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 and I was like, that's it.
No.
And
you got to be able to think.
I can't remember, but we got him a pretty crazy gift as well. Story will continue tomorrow. But hey, guys, once again, a fantastic day. Make sure you stay tuned for the trade of the day, which was SoFi today. So obviously with SoFi, let's just check out here. I want to see how many shares. You don't have to come to me. Keep on this. I just want to see how many shares did SoFi do. 145 million today. So very, very active name. Big shout out to obviously the platinum man himself, Prad. Thank you for coming through again today. I hope your stomach is okay from said oysters. I don't know, where is he? Let's go. There he is. Let's go. Put Prad on the screen, guys. He's doing his little. Oh, we can't right now. Okay, what's up, Brendan?
I was just going to show everyone how the day ended, Sean.
Oh, we forgot about that.
Yeah, minor detail. It's fine. We'll just make it official as we typically do. 1.7, 1.9, and 1.6 there for U.S. markets. But big one today. Oil, again, 8%. We'll see what happens tomorrow, guys.
I'm looking over there. I'm like, Lucas, what's going on? He's just like, Brendan. I'm like, oh, yeah, Brendan. Forgot about that. But I'll do a big shout out now to Platinum Prad. Thank you so much, Prad, again, for a great afternoon show. And thank you to Ms. V for crushing it as per usual.
Great Tesla trade.
There she is. What's up, Ms. V? Yeah, great Tesla trade. We got to get Ms. V live, though, soon, right? Hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. Yes. And then a big shout out, obviously, to Lucas and to Tim on the 1s and 2s, and Maggie putting in work with our guests today as well. And a shout out to Liz, who's going to be running the social game for us. But a big shout out, Isaac Mohammed, thank you so much for coming through. That means a lot to us. Anytime we can meet our viewers, and Neil and I will meet you guys right after this, it's always a pleasure. So thank you so much to everybody today. It's been a great one. We're back tomorrow, and it's earnings, man. It'll be my last day, and then a big dog Arun will be here Friday. So we will see what the market brings us. Let's see what Best Buy has in store. See you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Ciao, guys.
Bye, guys.